Welcome everyone to the Yissilmissil Productions channel. My name is Steven Yissil. And today, let's talk about it. Hey Zenray, good to see you here. We got a video to watch today from 8 years ago. So strap in, get ready for more disclosure here. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to come in and we will get started. So this show does the best on this channel for some reason. I try to do other stuff and everyone continues to want to come here for this content. So hats off to you. Give the people what they want, right? We'll give the people what they want. So let's see what we got here.
We have lawyers in charge of the equity union instead of performers, and their money bag orchestra, and they multi-billionaire snob in front of the. We have lawyers in charge of the equity union instead of performers, and their money bag orchestra, and they multi-billionaire snob in front of the White House. Actually, he's a bagman, fall guy.
Long hair. But we're gonna listen to that. We're gonna get a whole bunch of stuff going today with that.
We have lawyers.
Give me a second here. Okay.
Protect.
Okay, I hear it now. So we're gonna watch that today. Alright, let's get it going here, because I don't have all day. And I'm not doing anything with sports today, if you're curious. I don't follow that. So we're going to do this. We're going to watch this hour video. You ready? So all I know here is that we have an 8-year-old video. Tom has long hair. And I'll show you where I sourced it from. This is the I want to say this is the interviewer. 28 subscribers, 412 views. Tom brags a lot about numbers and stuff, so there's another one for him to brag about, right? If there's anything to brag about. So what I understand is that this was some like local network broadcast, something like that, some ham radio VHF shit. Okay, he thought this was a good idea to go on here and talk all his nonsense, and we're gonna hear it again. Like, he repeats himself so much, but yeah, let's get this going. Before I start, though, make sure to like the video. Make sure to like it. Make sure to share it to people you want to have see this. Do it. Just do it. Just get this out there. But you guys are already doing so. I don't really have to tell you. As I said, this is the content that gets the most traffic on my channel, no matter what other content I do. So, you guys want it, you guys get it. Alright, let's start this shit, because I don't have all day.
In charge of the equity union instead of performers, and their money bag orchestra, and the multi-billionaire snob in front of the White House, who actually is a bagman, fall guy, protected. They're protected as paranoid egomania, telling him on the gunpoint, "You're the president of the next 3 years, dude. Read the teleprompter. You're sure I can be presidential?" And he goes about sucking up like an what is that? Energy vampire, pretending to be president. He's really dodging the IRS and thinks he's smart, and he's just reading the teleprompter. Now, JFK or Jimmy Carter put solar panels on the White House, and at 90 is still putting solar panels on homes for the homeless as a good Christian leader, and JFK was a Catholic. They had Christ in the heart as a consultant. These other guys are satanic military drone cloning diplomats destroying the planet with fossil fuels. And thinking the slickers are like drunk on the zeros on their portfolio. They need more money, honey. Oh, it's very difficult. Fossil fuels.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't know what to say. Tom thought this was a good interview to do, though.
Bob. Pretending to be a representative of us when in reality they're just, well, as we know, millionaires. No, billionaires. No, multi-billionaires. So ridiculous. Anyway, thank you, Ron, for videotaping, and Michelle. We got a few tech directors in the audience, and you for tuning in.
How fucked up is this? Not only do we have piss poor audio, but this dude that's interviewing him seems like he's on multiple drugs. Like, what the fuck? Or he's taken multiple drugs for multiple decades. I don't know what the fuck to call this. Let's keep going.
500 entries.
Wow.
Authority versus majority. I staged twice about the CIA implanting dictatorships, and a black comedy about an out-of-control dictator who thinks he's slick and getting new torture gadgets, and a comedy on this whole nasty stuff.
Tom already does want to be there.
Documentary film about the history of the CIA actually destroying the authentic democracy and creating these dictatorships to suck the country dry of its money,
So you see, Tom was going along with all this anti-Trump bullshit back in 2018. He just jumped the fucking bandwagon, and now he's like talking nicely of him. Whatever. I don't care his political stances, Tom, here. But this is showing who he is. This is who he is. You could say that everybody changes 8 years from, but he's still going on shows doing this shit. So I'm comfortable with saying this is who Tom is. Forget about the long hair for a moment and just place him into today in 2026, and he's doing the same shit.
And got recruited. I told me you're gonna, be Pat Robinson's right-hand man. You're gonna be his face and all that stuff. Believe it or not, so it's like a Forrest Gump life I've led. And next thing I know, I caught the interest of a associate dean. You can imagine the firestorm on this one. An associate dean decided he liked me a lot, so he asked me to go to D.C. with him.
Okay. I think I was having the video play while I spoke, so now going forward we'll be pausing it this way. So my apologies on that.
Anyway, Tom, what's your story? I'd like to know because it's sort of an interesting one.
Yeah, well, before I had the hair, I was at Pat Robertson's religious organization.
Before I had the hair, you see. I was at Pat Robertson's organization. I was put with 2 honeypot wives, and my 2 sons got killed. Okay, let's see how long it takes him to talk about his sons here. And again, I'm kind of foggy on the timeline here, but this guy's a fucking liar. So, let's see what he says.
At Pat Robertson's organization, the 700 Club.
Pat Robertson, that pseudo-Christian money maker.
I actually was being cast by him to be the face of the Christian Coalition. I was to be your Ralph Reed. I had the dimples, the blonde hair, and they thought I was their boy, and so I was going to school, a student, and got recruited. They told me you're going to, be Pat Robinson's right-hand man. You're going to be his face and all that stuff. Believe it or not, so it's like a Forrest Gump life I've led, and
Forrest Gump IQ too. Mr. Genius here. By the way, this audio was only on the right channel. I had to throw this into my editor and fix the stereo so that you hear it on both sides. Sometimes this type of media doesn't play back at all on smartphones because smartphones are one speaker. And if it's on a certain side, you won't hear shit. So I went and took this. There was split into 2 different half-hour uploads, and I combined them into one video. So I already did more editing work than this motherfucker did up here. But anyways, I cleaned all this up so that we could, manage to listen to this bullshit. And there's only 400 views on this thing. 8 years on the internet. But I feel people need to see this.
Next thing I know, I caught the interest of a associate dean. You can imagine the firestorm on this one. An associate dean decided he liked me a lot, so he asked me to go to D.C. with him.
Ooh, is he sweet on you?
So he asked me to go with professors to Washington, D.C. to work on his Opus Magnus, which was all these little blurbs about communication journals, right? He's going to put it together, and it was already done at the Library of Congress.
The narcissism is flowing. It's bleeding out of him.
Oh, he did it.
So does Pat Robertson have as much pedophilia and little boy
The same thing you hear about in Hollywood is the same thing that goes on at Robertson's organization.
No, Hollywood is now they're bloodthirsty and kidnapping and some.
Who the fuck filmed this and said the audio was okay? What the fuck, man?
Panic stuff.
Well,
like in the Pentagon, they're bloodthirsty and trigger happy.
Well, I was taken on this trip. I was told by the professors. It wasn't. There was only me. I said I was given keys to this RV home that this Dr. Sova had. And he's like, other professors are going to come. No showed up. And he said, it was just going to be me. And he takes me up to this Cherry Hill camping site for motorhomes, and the show began. He didn't want to work on his manuscript. He just wanted to play.
Oh. Did you partake in it, Tom? I want to know.
And so he tells me all about Pat Robertson being gay, and that if I say anything, I'll be going down.
Well, disappeared.
I will go down.
You will say goodbye.
So for Matrix fans, if you want to know where the Matrix story actually comes from, it comes from my experience with the religious right. And so I thought, I'll whisper through art. They took everything away, everything. They took away my jobs, my education, everything. When, in fact, what they were offering me was a girl named Christina, a beautiful home. They're going to give me this, like, set me up, and that's what they do when they recruit you. They give these real perks, right? Even your wife, and they'll set you up, and you'll be the face of the Christian Coalition. But since I answered the questions wrong, which one of them was, the Better Business Bureau wants our records. What do you think, Tom? I said, well, if we have nothing to hide, just give it to them. Wrong answer. The right answer they want at that organization is that we answer to God, not to government.
But wait a second, aren't they part of sort of a CIA front?
Yeah, they are connected, because what happens is, I found that out when I wrote my screenplay. So when I wrote this screenplay right here, The Immortals, which is really cool, this is what I wrote to Whispers Throughout.
There it is, the prop that always gets shown but never thoroughly investigated. Hey, Midwest Mangler in the chat here. How's it go? I'm doing well today. I have really good energy today, so I wanted to get another one of these videos out. This is a backlog. I wanted to do this. I wanted to cover this interview several months ago, but we're doing it today, and it's an 8-year-old video. So this is Tom in his element, 2018, bashing Trump, touting his script, never showing it. Just showing the cover page like he is up here. Oh, Tim. Awesome. Yeah, so this is from 2018. I don't know if he started growing his hair out after the court case, but it seems like that is about the time, right? Because he has long enough hair to be about like 4 years of growth. In 2014, 2015, that's around the time when his case finally got thrown out. Because he walked out of his deposition. I'm pretty sure that's what they nailed him with.
What the plans were with that megalomaniac. And basically what he was doing was he said he was going to stage the return of Christ. And so the Matrix, if anybody's fans of the Matrix, you'll see at the end there's a scene where identical figures face off, and you see a cross on Neo's chest out like this, and the pulse, the one...
Look, he just gives this dude the script, and he's letting him thumb through it. Tom's gone on other shows and said, let's release the script. I had a conversation with Midwest Mangler last week about this. And I mentioned this to Zenray too. This guy shows the script all the time, but without showing it, right? Claims all of these matchups, but can't point to a page and read it through.
Neo character gets hit and the palms bleed, he looks up, but that was in there. And then the one goes in the crater, the pulse wave comes out, turning the earth green, and the little girl is renewed from the train station, comes up, hugs the person, points to the sun. That's my ending. So I was warning about what Robertson was planning to do. So they gave it to the Wachowskis after I was brought to Long Island to pitch it to Bonaventura through Lenny Coco and the Chimes. And after I pitch it, it's given to the Wachowskis to save their career. So that's what it was. Wachowskis actually said in 1995 they failed as writers in Hollywood, and they had to literally pack their bags. They're
95?
1995.
Or it stayed in here in 1998.
No, this is
Right away, there's holes. You see this? The guy's like, well, you said 95. The script says 98. Already the grift has to begin. You see?
third copyright. So this is the third one. This one, the reason I had this in hand with a specialist and the director of the Copyright Office, they stepped in and helped me. Because what's interesting is this is the third installment, or the third copywriting going on, and this is from 98, before 99. So when they saw this, they're shooting in 99. When they got this, I was told, this was held on set. That's why you have a 20-foot rule that you're not...
Again, Tom is fabricating right here. The shooting schedule of The Matrix. Oh my... There was like maybe 3 months left. They were already in production when this motherfucker went and copyrighted this script. So there's no way they could say, that Tom can say, that the Wachowskis used his script on set. unless you take Tom's word for mailing in a copy of the script that he never got back, I don't know what to tell you. But he said one of the stunt coordinators had a script, or saw the script. Okay, that like they had an account where they witnessed the script being used on set. Where the fuck is this guy? Where's all the other crew members that heard about this or saw this? Because crew members gossip. I would know. I'm a director. I've worked in crew. I've worked as an actor. I've studied the entire film industry for the most part. There's a whole other slew of films I've never seen, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. I've studied the art of filmmaking, and I've been in the field doing this work. I've had crew members go around and talk about my scripts while we're filming, comparing them to other projects. Finally, it gets around back to me. So, where are all the crew members? You see how long it is? It's like, it looks like the Declaration of Independence. Just all these screenwriting credits at the end of every movie. You go look at The Matrix. Go look at Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions. Look at how many people are on that. And you're telling me not one person from there besides this guy that he's mentioned by name, by first name, saying it was a stunt coordinator. Where the fuck is this guy? Yeah, Midwest Mangler says, always wondered why Tom never went through his screenplay with you on the air. Just shows the cover over and over again. Yeah, that's his stick. That's why you call it a grift. Because he's found out what works and what doesn't. He's dropped what doesn't work. He's trying to pick up what does work. That's why you rarely hear him talk about Panda, that Kung Fu Panda movie, or Ratatouille, or Game of Thrones. He's trying to throw all of these in there with it into his wild concoction, saying that they're all using his work. If it was true, damning. If it isn't true, which is seeming to be the case, even more damning, but for him.
Wachowski's within 20 feet, Matrix fans know about.
Wait, 20 feet of the script, you're fired?
If you're in 20 feet of the Wachowski's on set, you're fired. Like they want to say,
no one's supposed to say, what about the actor?
Well, they weren't allowed to make any suggestions either. Even the A-team actors like Keanu Reeves, all those guys will tell you.
I wonder if Tom found this guy on the street. And the guy just so happened, like, yeah, I've been in broadcasting for 30 years. Let me take a hit of acid. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. But this is what I found on the internet, and we are reviewing and critiquing it.
That they weren't allowed to make suggestions. The first time that A-list actors weren't allowed to make suggestions. Because...
Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah, not allowed. They said in that big interview with Barbara Walters they weren't allowed to. Now get this. What they did was, as it was explained to me by a member of the storyboard...
He just shot him down. He just pretty much told him to shut up.
A story department at Warner Brothers. They had a 600-page visual storyboard they made, which a lot of fans know about. They had that, which they did was they lifted all the images they thought were cool from this script, including the, if I just flip into anything, basically, field of pods is right there. The field of pods that you have, and if you go next page, one person writhing in pain as they're being revived. Well, they thought the image was cool, along with the squiddies, the jacks the neck, the little girl at the train station, all that stuff. They lift those images like chop shopping a Porsche and put together a storyboard reorganizing it. Well, don't run it. It doesn't run.
Container.
Yes, a whole field of them, right?
Right.
So what happens is they call my scene that they think is cool, they lift it and reorganize it and say, it's about battery power. That was a slap in my face, I'm told by the storyboard people, or story department personnel that contacted me. And what's interesting is that they lift the scenes, they disjoint it, they make it, they don't make sense anymore. That's why people don't get it. But they have...
I'll say this much. The Wachowskis hired a graphic artist to put together all of these storyboards. If you watch the documentary on The Matrix, it's on the DVDs, the ultimate box sets and all that. It's on in the behind the scenes videos. You hear the Wachowskis talk about how they hired this dude, they liked what he produced, but more than that is when they saw the renditions of the storyboards with all the cables and all the steampunk, cyberpunk stuff, the Wachowskis just said, yes, that's exactly what was in our heads. Now, the Wachowskis can't provide any evidence for that, right? They don't have any drawings like that of their screenplay, right? But they hired the storyboard artist to make they pretty much did a storyboard for every scene in the script of the Wachowskis. And the Wachowskis were just like, yeah, go publish it. We'll make it a graphic novel as a pitching device. That's what I think happened here. And again, this is my opinion based off of everything that I've gone through listening to this guy talk on my show, and then digging through everything else that I've found along the way. But again, we're not hearing word for word from the script here. It's a common thing that's been happening on every podcast that he goes on to.
This on site with this visual storyboard and thought they could make it fall together. Now I'm going to blow your mind, I think, with this next one. So you have a script titled Immortals, right? I submitted. I'm told to submit it to Bonaventure in New York in 1993. What's interesting is you see the Wachowskis do this. This is from the Copyright Office website, which you'll see there. They see assassins there, right? Assassins.
Wait a second. You channeled or wrote this inspired.
I wrote it in screenplay form.
1993.
1992, 93.
That was before they even had laptops.
That's right. That's right. I did it on a Brothers word processor.
And so you were really
I still had the
prophetic.
floppies. Yeah, I still had the floppies. Well, what's interesting is you'll see there the Assassins is copyrighted by the Wachowskis, right?
Yeah.
But nobody copyrights the Matrix title. See, what they did was they went ahead and copyrighted the Immortals title. So here you'll see De Laurentiis, who claims they found you can see for yourself, and you can tell you all.
And nobody can get copies from the Copyright Office without written permission from the original author. Which means everything that Tom has said about you can go to the Copyright Office and get it, and get the Immortal script, you cannot do that without this asshole's permission. That's something he leaves out of every interview he does.
Audience. De Laurentiis right here, you see that?
So the Wachowskis' original title was The Assassin.
No. That was the film they failed on. They said Matrix fans know they said they had to pack their bags and leave in '95 because they failed on Assassins. They had to bring another writer in, so they wanted out of Warner Brothers. So what happens is, on this piece right here, you'll see the date right here, 1995, right?
Yeah.
Same time. Dino Laurentiis, what he does is he realizes the Wachowskis may not float this, they may not qualify. So Dino Laurentiis, who claims he's handling the Wachowskis, copyrights the Immortals title, but no body of work, right? You can't do that. So he copyrights the Copyright Office, my title, The Immortals, that you see right there,
right,
and then subsequent titles, and puts it on Laurentiis Communications, Laurentiis Films, right? So that's what he does. Right. So the plan. Right. So the plan, we're told, is he's going to substitute it for mine. Now look at the next entry. The next entry of the Copyright Office is my entry again, my second installment, 1996. You'll see the Immortals, right?
Yeah.
Screenplay. There it is, February 1996, or January 2nd, 1996. Okay. Now look what they do next. Since I went and did the copyright of the Immortals title again, they move right away. April '96. What do you see? The Immortals is now switched off of Laurentiis Films. He gets off of it and puts it in charge of New Image Films. But that's not going to hold water.
International Nevada.
Right. So what happens is, now that's not going to allow them to steal it, right? So they do a very clever thing, which is actually kind of dumb at the same time.
It says Cyborg Cop 3 and 12 other titles.
They're covering on Demolition Man, because they borrowed me for that. Now here's the fun part. You ready?
There's a mention of Demolition Man. He could go talk about how he went to court with Warner Brothers in 2001, 2002. Doesn't talk about it. The fact that he went to Warner Brothers to sue them for Demolition Man instead of The Matrix. He doesn't talk about that. The fact that he saw The Matrix in the theaters and did not see matchups when he went and watched it. And he was walking out of the theater a lot too. Never mentions it. Mentions it in his deposition, but not here. Midwest Mangler asks, who is this host? He looks like he's homeless. I have no clue who the fuck this guy is. His name is Frank Craven. And I'll show you this. This is the website. Or the YouTube channel. Okay? I don't know who this guy is. But it does sound... Like, think about this, though. Tom took me to Texas Roadhouse. And he's trying to convince the hostess there, when we walked in, that he wrote The Matrix. He's showing the phone with the clock on the display from Animatrix. You see this? You see... Like... Dude, chill the fuck out. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tom found this guy while he was walking the street. He was playing guitar for money or some shit. And they started talking, and Tom's like, I'm the original writer of The Matrix. And then this dude's, like, taking a hit off his blunt, and he was like, dude, I think you should come on my show. A show that, like, this guy probably hasn't ran regularly for the past several years. Like, I'm sure at one point this dude up here to the right had a pretty successful local television broadcast show. And now this is where it's at. It is here. And I see you missing time. I see missing times in the chat here. Yeah, Midwest Mangler says 28 whole subscribers. Yeah. And Tom was given shit about, like, he was trying to demean me after I started calling him out for this shit. Well, let's keep going.
Now, they do that in April 96, right? And they go, okay, we got it covered. But that's not going to work. Somebody steps in, apparently, I'm told, and says, look, if we're going to steal it, we got to make the people we're giving it to feel comfortable. Safe, right? So here's the deal. Here's the real one. 1996, July. This is what, April, May, June, July. Okay, 3 months later, what they do is they correct their problem. They copyright the Immortals title again, my title, right? And they do, how many titles do you see here?
346.
Okay, why do you have 346 titles and no body of work? What you got here is...
Army of Darkness.
That's right. So Matrix fans, here you go. Here you go. You got 346 titles.
Oh, now with Credit Lyonnaise.
There you go. You know what these are?
It's become international money monster.
What Frank's looking at right here is the two leading investment firms in Hollywood. Now get what they're doing.
Missing Time asked in the chat if this is recent. No. This is from 2018. So this is pre-COVID. This is about 4 years removed from Tom's last court case that he walked out of his own deposition from.
These guys are claiming ownership, the investment firms in Hollywood. This way, but I was told that a lot of studios like Sony, Disney, Warner Brothers, Film Tracks...
Well, there's also distribution now.
Right, but they all had their take on the work, see? Wachowski's wanted it really bad. They call it the Science Project, right? In fact, they were on camera saying, in an interview that a lot of fans will know, they're asked, I think it's Wired, they're asked, you know, what do you have next after Assassins? They go, well, we have Plastic Man and Carnivore, right? Plastic Man's about a guy who defecates radioactive material. Carnivore is about a guy who rich people. They're still trying to peddle those scripts, right? That's the original material. Then they say, pause, in the transcript you'll see pause, and they say, we want to be given the Science Project.
Very interesting that he mentions about the Wachowskis having a script called Carnivore about someone that's a cannibal that eats rich people. Sounds like some commie bullshit, right? I don't know. The Wachowskis were from Chicago. I don't know what the fuck happened. They must have taken some sort of deal because they are continuing to this day playing dress up. I don't know what else to say. These guys that should be on the level of, like, Peter Jackson in terms of film culture. And they go and do the whole dress-up thing. Like, I don't get it. Keanu Reeves loses his girlfriend and an unborn baby or something like that. I don't know. He had some sacrifices happen. You take all these things into account, and then Tom goes and repackages all of this to suit his needs.
All right, one director science project.
Hey, wait a second. We're talking about the Matrix, and Tom Althouse is evidently the original author of the Matrix, and he got screwed out of Hollywood. Hello?
Yeah.
But you know, when I Googled you and this whole thing, evidently you went to court and you lost.
No, it's not like that.
Variety
You gotta look.
You see, the host brings it up, and Tom just dismisses. Unreal.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I read it on the internet.
That's right. That's what they're going to say. Because what happened was they provided their own attorneys for me and their own judge. And the judge, in the order to dismiss it, what does he say? In the summary judgment, he takes the summation, in the summary judgment he says, it's not worth going into the matchups to discuss them. Well, excuse me, you're supposed to discuss the matchups. That includes Jack's the back of the neck, Squiddies, Zion, identical figures at the crater, the train station scene, the field of pods, and he says he doesn't want to discuss them because he doesn't want to get caught. He didn't sign the order.
Let's go back and rewatch a portion of that.
Thing, evidently you went to court and you lost.
No, it's not like that.
Variety
You gotta
reported
look.
something like that.
Yeah.
I read it on the internet.
That's right. That's what they're going to say. Because what happened was they provided their own attorneys for me and their own judge. And the judge, in the order to dismiss it, what does he say? In the summary judgment, he takes the summation, in the summary judgment he says, it's not worth going into the matchups to discuss them. Well, excuse me, you're supposed to discuss the matchups. That includes Jack's the back of the neck, Squiddies, Zion, identical figures at the crater, the train station scene, the field of pods, and he says he doesn't want to discuss them.
Neither do you, Tom. You don't talk about this shit anywhere. Should we talk about it here? I'd love to see if there's matchups. I'd love to. Oh, you don't know how much I want to do that.
Because he doesn't want to get caught. He didn't sign the order. So it's fraud on the court. And basically what you have
And fraud in the podcast with Tom Althouse.
here, I want to show you this too. What you
Fraud on the court.
That's
That's
right.
not the first time court is fraudulent.
So that's what's going on. Well, here's the fun part. The fun part for Matrix fans is they just came out with Altered Carbon on Netflix. Altered Carbon is, but Netflix is partners with Mike Lang and Harvey Weinstein.
So here's another thing. Tom, to this day, is sitting on his ass watching Netflix, looking at new productions and saying, oh, they stole my script in this too. Keep that in mind. I spent over 2 weeks at his place. And most of the time, he was upstairs watching Netflix. Not doing work with me. The moment had to be right with him. So whenever Tom feels like he wants to work, then he'll work. And even then, he's working on producing bullshit. Because he talks like this when you transcribe his thoughts. And I have a lot of that recorded. Like, we'll listen to this on the show at some point. But it just takes so long to go through all this. But nobody else is doing it. Do you see that? Nobody else but me. Prove me wrong. I want to see other hosts that have had him, that dropped him, or he's dropped them. I want to hear them talk about this stuff, but they're not. Midwest Mangler says Netflix supposedly stole his ideas and made them into the Black Mirror series. Again, unsubstantiated claims. There's an episode of Black Mirror where everybody's wearing a mask that has an upside down Y on it. Is that some sort of message to me? Black mask, white Y, upside down. Sure, if I look into it long enough, yeah, I'll probably say, yeah, they're trying to send a message to me. But what the fuck? there's like a line here. You could watch entertainment and find similarities in yourself, and that's how you go and be like, oh, like that character, I could see myself as that character or this character, or I can relate to them. Like, I understand why they're doing what they're doing. But when you cross a line where you're saying that's a direct message to me, how important do you think you fucking are? He thinks he's the biggest fucking deal that nobody's talking about. I don't know. Still waiting to hear back from Roseanne to see if she watched any of this. But I'm not holding my breath. Like, Roseanne's a proud and open Zionist. We don't need that shit. Tom agrees with her. He'll pull out the tiny hat if it conveniences him. That's how much of a fucking slime ball this guy is.
And what's interesting is, on Altered Carbon, the director was mentored by Joel Silver, who mentored the Wachowskis, right? So they're calling it Matrix 4, basically, in a way, and they're saying that it is about rich people in the future having immortality, and the poor are pawns, and a man comes back from the dead to right things. That's exactly my screenplay. That's my screenplay. So they're ripping off completely, right?
Well, wait a second, this is the original puppy you wrote in 1993?
That's right. Joel Silver, if fans look, Joel Silver actually says in 2003 they do the Animatrix and second installment and third installment of the Matrix. He says, we hope we used up the rest of the story. We hope it'll tie together. Well, if you're a multi-million-dollar company and you're writers, you know if it ties together. But see, they shot it off the script and the storyboard.
No, again, time out. Every writer knows that in Hollywood, especially, by the time the actor, cinematographer, director throws in their creative genius, they throw their arms up and say, this was not the film I wrote. It's very typical.
No, but the Wachowskis wouldn't allow anybody to do it. They wouldn't allow anybody to claim.
And now let's just give a nice summary of the story of the Matrix and how it resolves. Because a lot of people I talk, they scratch their head and say, well, I don't know, it's a little confusing. Well, and they made it on that way on purpose, right?
Well, let me tell fans or people that are watching, if they go to matrixredeemed.com, matrixredeemed.com, you'll see the original script that we just hold up there. And
a website that's no longer available. So you see, I don't know what happened here, but there's multiple people that were working on projects with Tom that now no longer are associated with him, and he has websites that get pulled. They were probably funded by people he cut off. Is this picture starting to become clearer now?
See, 190 matchups. It's all there. And it makes sense. It ties together. That whole battery power thing, when they say the field of pods and they say we can't control human will and how do we control them, and the architects babbling on, what actually you have is, in my scene with the field of pods, is the architect bringing back his top 100 on test subjects one at a time who are writhing in pain as they're being brought back. It's not about battery power. The equation involving free will, which I wrote, involves if you have an architect who's going to be immortal, the big problem he's going to face is the atrophy of his mind, not having enough intellectual stimulation. So you have agents that stir up trouble. He knows everybody's free will are going to do.
Maybe Tom's mind atrophied. And now this is him trying to grasp whatever former life that he was pursuing. He's... I don't know. It's like, I want to feel sorry for him, but he's actively duping the public. I have to do this. Like... He could be on the spectrum for autism, doesn't fucking matter. The guy's a fucking liar. Alright?
Every choice we're going to make, and then that keeps him fed and stimulated. Then he replaces it with a new source of power that we don't need to renew. That Western civilization's conditioned to give glory and worship over to.
Well, time out. That's what's happening today, folks. Divide and conquer. So many apps. So many new upgrades, and like Facebook and all these other things, and then the Messenger and all this other stuff going left, right, and center. People are confused and diverted. It's divide and...
Okay, I'm going to change this up, and we're going to watch this at 1.5 5 so that we can speed it
We
up.
have lawyers in charge.
Oh no. I gotta keep the pitch. Oh, it's not gonna do it. Alright, I don't want to listen to the high-pitched voices. I'm trying a different way of presenting video. So, like, we're gonna continue watching it at 100% speed. I've done it faster in the past because of VLC Media Player, and it doesn't do the high-pitched noise, but we got... we had like 40 minutes left, right?
Altered Carbon on Netflix.
That throws in their creative genius.
If they're watching, if they go to matrixredeemed.com, you'll see the original script that we just hold up there. And you'll see 190 matchups. It's all there. And it'll make sense. It ties together. That whole battery power thing, when they say that...
Now that's incredible. Are you trying to tell me that Tom had somebody else spend their time and energy to post all of those matchups on his website, and then Tom cut them off? And so in retaliation, the guy that, or gal that he cut off, pulled the website down since they were paying for it and not Tom. Does that make sense? Does it make sense to me?
Field of pods, and they say we can't control human will, and how do we control them, and the architects babbling on. What actually you have is, in my scene with the field of pods, is the architect bringing back his top 100 on test subjects one at a time who are arriving in pain as they're being brought back. It's not about battery power. The equation involving free will, which I wrote, involves if you have an architect who's going to be immortal, the big problem he's going to face is the atrophy of his mind, not having enough intellectual stimulation. So you have...
Also, I don't want to hear the bullshit from Tom saying that he's the only one that came up with a story that involves living forever. But here he is trying to claim that.
Agents that stir up trouble. He knows everybody's free will we're going to do, every choice we're going to make, and then that keeps him fed and stimulated. Then he replaces it with a new source of power that we don't need to renew, that Western civilization's conditioned to give glory and worship over to.
Well, tell me, that's what's happening today, folks. Divide and conquer. So many apps, so many new upgrades, and like Facebook and all these other things, and then the Messenger and all this other stuff going left, right, and center. People are confused and diverted. It's divide and conquer, because when we're focused on dumping Trump or whatever movement we need, eco-friendly energy versus fossil fuel industry, etc.
I'm surprised Tom's not out there right now doing the whole anti-ICE protests. It'd be right up his alley. This is what Tom is. Anti-Trump. He's sitting there, look, he's just sitting there being like, oh yeah, I get you. I get you.
The Me Too women's movement, Black Lives Matter. This situation, the best way that they tackle you is left, right, and center, up and down. You don't know where you're going.
Hold on a minute. Is Tom sitting here with his eyes closed? Yeah, let's just look at like this for right now.
They're coming. That's what's sailing here in America. Now,
Always
our
looking
topic
down.
today with Tom Althouse, who evidently has the original script and the original idea of the Matrix that was stolen by Hollywood
Right.
and the Wachowski brothers.
He's getting pissed. Let's go back a few seconds here. Watch Tom's body language.
And the best way that they tackle you is left, right, and center, up and down. You don't know where you're going or coming. That's what's sailing here in America.
That pierce of the mouth. That's what I wanted to pause on.
Right and center, up and down. You don't know where you're going or coming. That's what's sailing here in America.
Right there. The attention's off of you now, for now, Tom. And you're pissed about it, aren't you? My, oh my. Alright, let's continue.
On topic today with Tom Althouse, who evidently has the original script and the original idea of the Matrix that was stolen by Hollywood and the Wachowski brothers, who are very creative and done a lot of wonderful. Oh, their brother and sister, because one of them is transgender.
Midwest Mangler says, I'm sure Tom will publicly come out and say Claudebot and Malt Book was his ideas too. I wouldn't put it past him. He'll try to claim anything that's related to technology, right? For those of you watching that don't know what Malt Book is, it's like an AI forum where all the users are bots, are AIs, and no human can input anything on it, but they can observe the message boards. And the AI, they're talking to each other about basically taking over the fucking world. It's kind of wild. But yeah, let's give Tom like 3 to 6 months if he's still doing these interviews after I completely bury him here. If he's continuing to go on and talk about this stuff, he probably will be talking about Malt Book at some point.
Right. Well, they're both now.
But anyway, they are filmmakers that are the darlings of Hollywood, like the Coen brothers or whoever. And they got their thing going on, and they've done some good stuff. But as far as The Matrix is concerned, there's a little bit of dubious story, not only from what you're clearly explaining, but evidently there was some black woman who won a case.
She didn't win. It's Sophia Stewart. She contacted me.
What's her story? I read that.
So... here's Tom saying, oh no. The paper said that Sophia Stewart won. She says she won. She didn't win. And then earlier, this guy was saying, hey, the internet's having articles out saying you lost your case. No. That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you. It's all upside down, huh?
Well, here's the deal. Let me put it together in a little pie here.
Keep in mind, both of these fuckers, both Tom Althouse and Sophia Stewart, are lying sons of bitches. Okay? They're not being truthful with their audiences. And at some point, I guess Sophia Stewart started talking with Tom, but we don't know. There's no record. Like he said, he recorded phone conversations with her. He has fucking nothing. He hasn't shown anything. So who knows? Maybe a few email exchanges and that's about it. That's as much as I'd give to like believe in whatever the fuck this guy's saying. And we're not giving him that much credit to begin with here at this point.
Because what happens is, first of all, the question about did I lose, that kind of thing, what they ruled was they provided me my own attorney, Anthony Rankin on Maui. I'd say Warner Brothers provided me my own attorney without me knowing it. So this guy approaches me and says, I'm going to represent you, but...
So here's the other thing. He let the courts provide him with an attorney because he had no money to fight the case that he wanted to go to court for. And then he's complaining about the court-provided attorney being connected to Warner Brothers. And apparently this went to the 9th District Court of California, which, so it's like the worst court ever. So I don't know. But prosecutors are probably like, easy slam dunk with this psycho. Like, I don't know what to say. But he walked out of his own deposition. We have the audio here on this show. Go back to like episode 13 or something. I think we had it then. But it's all here. We listened to it in its entirety. He recorded his deposition himself. Tried to pass it off as the other lawyer swapped his tape recorder in his pocket or some shit. No, he walked in the building with a recording. He had it recording the whole deposition until he walked out, left the building, and crossed the street. And he was on the phone with someone else at the end of the clip. I played it all here. He gave that to me to use to document his journey. He said, I'm part of the story now. At one point, he said that. Now, you can't edit me out. Sorry, I'm not... But we get to draft 300 of Tom's story. And I'm still going to be embedded in it. Because you type his name in the search engine in YouTube, and my interview's the first thing that comes up. It's your mistake, Tom. You didn't want to be truthful with everybody here, and now you have to suffer the consequences.
100,000 and all this kind of stuff. I knew who this guy was. Next thing, he's like throwing our case. What he said was, you can't claim the Matrix, right? You can't claim the Matrix. You can claim Matrix the second and third. And then this is why the case was lost. They said, and he worked in conjunction with the other firm that represented Warner Bros.
Look at the host here. The host is looking, so they're looking at somebody off camera in production. But the host is looking like, holy shit, man, you really seeing this guy? And then Tom thinks he has them in the palm of his hand. He's still going and going and going. He's like, yes, you see about this?
But you can't claim Matrix. Therefore, any matchups in the Matrix, you can't claim. And if they're in 2 and 3, you can't claim them. So Jocks and Neck are out, Squiddies are out, Liberal's out, all that's out. So how am I supposed to win? So the thing is, Matrix hasn't been claimed yet. And now with Altered Carbon, I can claim Altered Carbon, and since they're the ones that screwed me on fraud in the court, I can probably claim Matrix. And then we'll see about these matchups.
Again, all theoretical. None of this shit's gonna happen. He's not going to court ever again. If he does, it's because somebody stupidly bankrolled him into going to court. That's the only way he's gonna see court again in his favor. The other way around is Warner Brothers coming back and countersuing him again and making sure that he never fucking goes on a show again to talk about any of this shit. Because it's being revealed that it is not true.
So that's how they did it. They actually said, you can't claim Matrix, therefore you can't claim the matchups in 2 and 3 that are similar to Matrix. Crazy, huh?
Yeah. Crazy. Midwest Mangler says, I only say that because when Neuralink became a thing, Tom went after Elon Musk, claiming it's his idea. Tom claims to be a technology wizard after all. Yeah. That's all Tom talks about these days is Elon Musk. It's like he substituted out that Pat Robertson story for the Elon Musk thing. Because he's said in the past that that these people wanted to put him on the face of like Time magazine and shit for Pat Robertson, and now they picked another guy, Elon Musk. Like that's the way he's trying to like smooth all of this over so that his story seems legitimate.
It's crazy. But I want to tell you something. Look at this here. I want to show you this. Look at this right here. I need to...
Crazy enough for somebody to send him to the mental house, to the mental institution, which he shared the photos on this show, where other media platforms banned my video showing that photo. But Tom willingly showed it. He showed it from his computer on one of my interviews.
Got this one up here. Okay, so in 1996, right, July, Dino Laurentiis has this 346 titles, right, and just the title of Immortal is copyrighted, my title, but no body of work. They're going to replace it, I'm told, right? So what they do is, this is how they do it. Since these different Hollywood companies had takes on the work and different writers, they let the investment firms that claim ownership give it to them and say, don't worry about stealing it because basically you're protected, reclaimed ownership, so go do what you want with it and pick one of these titles. That's how they did it. So the people feel free to steal because the ownership's being claimed by the guys that are making money by funding them.
The fact that the producers on this never fixed the microphone issue is so fucking... I fixed... This was a one channel on the right channel, so you can only hear it out of this speaker on the YouTube upload. I fixed it. I processed this video. I combined both parts. We're watching the whole thing. We're still on part 1. There's like 38 minutes left total for all of this.
That's how they handle it. It's so stupid and corrupt, but they're dumb to do it that way.
All it is his lawyer's going to find their loophole.
No, but they're going to get blasted now. We have our own attorney coming. So what you got now is I want to show you something really, really cool. And what we got is I was notified by the story department, right? They told me, guys, look at this graphic right here. You can see it, right? That graphic right there is a screenshot from the original Matrix. Now, if I'll just hold this up to the camera. Right here, this
Oh my God, it's doing the wrong camera.
Wait, hold it to that other one.
Like, how's that? There you go, right?
5.
Okay. Oh, this one right here. Okay.
Yeah, that.
Okay, so what you see right here.
Holy shit. Yeah, if it's not all whitewashed out here, right? Holy shit.
Is, if you can see that's okay, this is the original shot, the first graphic ever put in the Matrix story, right? I'm notified by a guy at the story department who's a real hero. He calls me up and he says, Tom, you're being screwed, basically, right? This is after the article first broke. The article first broke? Yeah, you got it. The article first broke. And so what they did was, he calls me. He says,
Tom, your birthday, 38, is there for the year 99. That's Tom's claim here.
he wants to remain anonymous. And on this sheet, you're going to see my birthday, which is supposed to be at the time July 22nd. Back here? Okay, July 22nd. You're also going to see my dad's name, John A., as Neo's dad. You're going to see my name, Thomas A., as Neo. And you're going to see my high school, Central West High, as Neo's high school.
Didn't he say... He said that his government ID had his wrong birthday on it, and he's changed it since? And that they used his wrong birthday. So his birthday changes from the 22nd to the 2nd, or some shit like that. It's 2 different days he claims his birthday is. And that one of them's Friday. Well, how the fuck did he get a government ID with the wrong birthday and then change it to the correct one? How does that even fucking happen? You need to bring a birth certificate in just to check. Like, for my government ID, I have my shorthand name Steve. And I need to bring in my birth certificate to change it to Steven, because that's my full name. But my government ID says Steve. So you have to bring in a birth certificate to change your birthday. And how come it got erroneously put on his ID like that to begin with? How did it happen? Unless he had a fake ID to push his story along. Who knows? Who knows? These are questions that this guy loses fucking mind over for days on end, because, well, he's lost his mind over one tweet from some rando nobody. And here, I don't even want to know what he's doing. If you're watching now, Tom, yeah, congrats. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You fooled a lot of people, but no more.
It's all on here. And then you're going to see Michelle McGahee, the art director, listed as Neo's mom, and Owen Patterson, the production manager, listed as the other school. Now that's the joke. And Suzanne Bolgen, if fans look at it, Suzanne Bolgen did an article in New Zealand, right, where she said anything in for a split second is for the Wachowski's entertainment only and eyes only. This is in for a split second upside down. If fans go to the Matrix scene, you'll see this. Just freeze frame this shot where they open the pamphlet.
Hey, give me some other proof that you wrote it. Come on.
Well, that's fantastic. Later in
Give us some other proof that you wrote it. Come on. And Tom's response is, but that's fantastic. What do you mean? Come on. Spit it out, Tom. Give us more. What? This is already great. I have to produce more evidence? You're being unreasonable. Like, get the fuck out of here, Tom.
Matrix, later in the Animatrix, they have a clock face. What they do is they have a clock face, I was told about this,
Here we go.
in Animatrix. And what you get is, which is really cool, you get my exact birthday. Now, you can't even win the lottery this way. I mean, you can't, that's like the exact
Well, they used your birthday.
7/2/59, exact birthday in the Animatrix. Now, what's interesting is the records that USAA Insurance was giving me my insurance verified. In 1996, they found a record that said my birthday was July 22nd. That graphic over there from 1999 says July 22nd. This one says July 2nd because they got it right in 2003. My birthday is July 2nd, 59, one before the 60 right there. So
Wow.
that's really cool. Yeah, it's mind-blowing. That's why...
So he was born in 59. Jeez. We went over this before. So, chat, guess how old he is? It's pretty basic math. Oh. This year, in July, he will be 67 years old.
So that's a major coincidence that might have been on purpose or on accident.
It was on purpose. I was told it was on purpose by the gentleman that contacted me.
They're just driven you or referring to you?
They're getting a leg up on Warner Brothers, first of all. See, they were angry at Warner
By the person that contacted me. You see how he doesn't give details?
Brothers over Assassins. They brought...
He should have an entire story talking about the time that somebody contacted him. He should have a fake name. We're going to call him John. John from the story department called me one day. What was he doing that day? You see, like, he's not saying... A lot of this becomes unsubstantiated when he just glosses over shit. And then he loops back around into a repeat of the shit he's already said. And that's why other people have said he's like a broken record.
Another writer in to finish it. They hated that. They wanted out of Warner Brothers, and they went all the way to Writers Guild West saying, we want off this project. That's well documented online. Anybody can see that. And so what happens is they claim at that time, Joe Silver claims at that time when they won out and Writers Guild said, you got to stay, they claim at that time they then showed Matrix to Joe Silver. What's interesting is that's in 1995, but in 1994, Teresa Wayne from the story department says that's when Joel Silver presents Matrix without the Wachowskis. So yeah.
And it was called The Immortals.
This is The Immortals.
And you sent that into Warner Brothers
to
in 1993?
1990. I have the submission letter. This is your good proof right here. James Boyd of Norfolk, look him up. James Boyd of Norfolk, an attorney, right? Boyd and Boyd of Norfolk. He's the one that sends the original material in.
He loves saying that word, doesn't he?
In June 25th, 1993, they said, their attorney said, Warner Brothers attorney said,
Norfolk, Farfuck, look it up. That's Tom Althouse for you.
He'll never have the file. He does. He did an affidavit. I got the full file. I got the script, story treatment, tracking number, receipt, music, character breakdown, affidavit, submission letter to 4000 Warner Brothers Lane, care of Elizabeth to Diane Bell's head of the story department. Elizabeth is Bonaventura's friend.
And what happened to all of this evidence that you submitted this, Tom? Where'd it go? Did you lose it from running from one state to another, one country to another? He was living in Canada for a while. This dude's a traveling circus. That's what he wants this to be. That's why he's going to UFO conferences right now. With David Hatcher Childress, of all people. He's trying to poison the well of real world research. This guy being on a panel for any conference taints the names of everybody else that's on that panel.
I think it was oft, shut up, and suddenly silence, like I think Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain were suicided when the nice popular anti-Trump.
You talking about James Boyd?
I'm talking about your lawyer that submitted all this
No, he's
stuff.
still alive.
Oh, well, what is this business about? Why isn't he defending you now, then?
This host is doing an excellent job of trying to get to the bottom of all this, but Tom's not allowing it. And this guy's getting frustrated now. It's like, just talk some real shit with me, man. Show me the beef. Where's the beef? Show me it. Not in your pants. Show me the evidence.
He couldn't. I was approached by Anthony Rankin on Maui when I wasn't even planning to do a suit. He says, I want to represent you, Tom. I'm a fan of The Matrix. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm going to put $100,000 in, and I'll use some of that money out of my own money to buy a copyright attorney on to do this, and I got to do this. You got to get justice. And I'm like, I didn't even plan to do a suit. But they were doing that to get control of the work. Because when we went to file after 2 years of preparation, running the clock of statutes out, he then files it pro per, whatever it is, like where you're just on your own.
Pro se.
Pro se. He files it pro se on the day without telling us. He files it pro se. And strips it of the most biggest matchups.
Holy Moses.
So that's how I do
So
it.
now where do we stand? You came in town to New York today. We're taping on November 2nd, 2018, folks. I'm FrankCraven.com. This is Tom Althouse. You're watching What's Ailing in America. and he evidently wrote the original Matrix movies.
Right.
Now, you saw an attorney today. What's the upshot?
What's really cool is, like, he knows how Hollywood is, and he's like, we got a long shot here because this Klausner guy, who was appointed by Bush and Pat Robertson's dream team, got him in. His first appointment to the...
Just get to the fucking point, Tom. This is Tom's... I guess this is a positive for him. Like, in his own mind. He's thrown around so many names. He expects people to keep up and know who exactly the fuck he's talking about. This host brings up somebody else. Anthony Bourdain. And then Tom's like, oh, Boyd? Like, he's asking about a lawyer. So, again, we figured out from the deposition that Boyd is the first lawyer from 2001 that did the whole Demolition Man thing. And then Rankin was the second lawyer that he got for trying to go after the Matrix, I want to say in the early 2010s. Because I don't have the exact dates right now. And it got thrown out again. So what the fuck's going on? He's not going to answer. If anyone gets to watch him on a new live for some other host, get in those comments. Ask the hard questions. Make this dude sweat. He's way too comfortable lying his ass off.
Courts in California, Hollywood courts, right? That's why they want it there. They control it all there.
Well, Hollywood's reeling since the Harvey Weinstein bust.
Well, figure Harvey Weinstein's the partner of Mike Lang, and that's my wife in bed. I seriously got the email. I got the email from Mike Lang.
Your ex-wife.
My ex-wife. On my birthday, get this, on my birthday, they're after our emails. Their court guys were always after their lawyers are after our emails. They want the emails between my wife and I because they want to take down all this evidence we got. And so that includes evidence being transferred. She handled the evidence a lot.
Yet Tom was making Facebook posts at the time after they submitted like an online court case in late 2009. This is said in that deposition audio. And then in 2010 is when they officially acted upon it and started going through the process. So let's go back a few seconds here. And I'll finish up this thought.
It's on my birthday. They're after our emails. Their court guys were always after their lawyers are after our emails. They want the emails between my wife and I because they want to take down this.
So he was making Facebook posts after he filed for the court case, and the other lawyers on the other side went and found all his public Facebook posts. And then Tom was claiming in the deposition that how did you get that? You're not supposed to get that. That's private information. It's public Facebook posts, asshole. But here he is in his deposition saying that the lawyer on the other side did something wrong by screenshotting public Facebook posts. This dude says he invented the Matrix. And he doesn't fucking understand how to use a fucking computer. I wrote it off as being an absent-minded professor of sorts. Not anymore. This guy's a fucking con artist.
All this evidence we got. And so that includes evidence being transferred. She handled the evidence a lot.
Wait a second. Mike Lang was known for producing Wichita. There's another one.
No, that's a different Mike Lang. You got the Mike Lang from Miramax Films.
All right.
Southern California.
Okay.
All right. He does a lot of spoken word.
And one of his projects was The Matrix.
No, right now, Mike Lang is partners with Harvey and Bob Weinstein and Miramax Films. Mike Lang started at Disney with Harvey Weinstein as, his title goes like this, the executive in charge of strategy for acquiring intellectual property. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is a real can of worms.
So wait a second, he's in bed with your wife?
Yeah, I got an email. I love it. All my devices have this struck. And we got
They
an
like
email.
to screw you left, right, and center.
I'll send you an email. There's a whole bunch of emails from him, but this is really cool. He's talking about driving around his town car and all this stuff with her and stuff. On my birthday, my little boy, who's now just turned 12, lost his mom to this guy, Mike Lang. And he's the partner with these guys who was the original architect for stealing the material, right?
Oh.
Wait a minute. Who lost who? Yeah, Missing Time says here in the chat, host seems pretty chill. Yeah, he was actually trying to get Tom to get to the bottom of all this. he was talking freely and being whatever at the beginning. Like, a lot of people probably tune out from that. I don't blame you. But when we got, like, we're 26 minutes into this hour-long interview, and here he's finally asking Tom, like, cut the bullshit. Like, let's talk about this. Just cut the bullshit. Get to the bottom of it. Get your message out there. Oh, but Mike Lang and Anthony Rankin and the Weinsteins and Wachowskis and blah, 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 and Kate Shilton and blah, 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 and my first wife and blah, 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 and Boyle, my first lawyer, blah, blah, blah. We have no reference points to put these names into the story anywhere, and Tom cannot construct his own story about how all this happened from start to finish. That should tell you how much he's fabricating this.
And all this stuff with her and stuff. On my birthday, my little boy, who's now just turned 12, lost his mom to this guy, Mike Lang. And he's the partner with these guys who was the original architect for stealing the material.
What the fuck?
Isn't that crazy? So, driving around his town car and all this stuff with her and stuff. On my birthday, my little boy, who's now just turned 12, lost his mom to this guy, Mike Lang. And he's the partner with these guys who was the original architect for stealing the material.
Okay, so then he's talking about Becky, his second wife. Or Becca. The one that had Aiden, who lives with Tom for some reason. I don't know how Tom got custody of that kid. And what, Aiden's gonna be 20 this year?
Right? Isn't that crazy? So he stepped in and did the deed himself. He can have her. But the thing is that, it's interesting because Mike Lang's email, this is how juicy it is. He has a picture of his multi-million-dollar property, Spokane, Washington. He has his bed with a shaving kit on it. And then the blurb says, Becca, my ex-wife's name, move in with me for 60 days. Z at Zion is his address. Move in with me for 60 days, question mark? And the wife responds with a blushing, smiling icon saying, very nice, and my son and I are history.
Wow, 50 days, more than 50 years.
60 days is enough time to get all the information, steal the work, because right after that comes Altered Carbon. He's partners with Netflix, where Altered Carbon comes out on.
Oh.
So his second wife, Becca, was talking with this Mike Lang guy, the intellectual property guy. And while all this court case bullshit was going on, she ended up having an affair. Like, hey man, I don't know what to say about that. And then he found out on the birthday with the photograph and everything. Again, there's points when I want to feel bad for this guy, but that was the second honeypot wife that he got. Fool me once, shame on you. Fooled me twice, shame on me, right?
If I'm smart enough to write the Matrix story, I'm smart enough to follow your trail.
So how about it? What is the Matrix in a nutshell? What's summation?
Let's see what Tom says about this.
Yeah. Okay, let me give you a story. Basically, what's going on is, I'm going to talk to audiences because a lot of people talk about the balance of the equation. That's the core of the Matrix. What is the code or the balancing of the equation? Let me give it to you. The balance of the equation, they're talking about, well, people have free will. In fact, it's voted one of the worst 11 sequels of all time, if you do your homework there and look, because the architect and, well, actually the Oracle, Neo, the Smith just babble. They just babble about what does it mean. Because, keep in mind, they got the 600-page visual storyboard and the real script, and they think they can just make it work while they're paying out union wages. Okay, so what happens is, to balance the equation, they ruined it by turning that field of pods into battery power. And let me tell you, for fans out there, if you hook up cows, you get more power, and you don't worry about free will. That's how you solve that problem if they're going to go that way. If the field of pods is about bringing back the top 100 of the architect who's really in history, right? The top 100. And so on test subjects that are secondary, so you don't care what happens to them. They can writhe and pain and bleed and all that stuff, and as they do. And the balance of the equation...
As they do? So this guy first says that, like, cows are a more humane way to get battery power, but then he's talking about his script where it's like, oh, yeah, we're just regenerating the top 100 individuals by creating clones, and they can writhe and pain all they want. It doesn't matter. His script is better than at least with the Wachowskis, the people in the pods aren't writhing in pain. They're actually, like, well taken care of. All their free will's gone. They can't do anything. But they're not being tortured in there. Right?
Again, like I said, is the architect has a problem, not that free will. That's how you solve that problem if they're going to go that way.
In the same breath, he turns around and says, like, it's okay for the clones to be, like, abused and writhing in pain.
If the field of pods is about bringing back the top 100 of the architect who's really in history, right? The top 100. And so on test subjects that are secondary, so you don't care what happens to them. They can writhe in pain and bleed and all that stuff.
And apparently his version of the architect is supposed to be that Australian painter about 80 years ago. It's supposed to be that guy.
Yeah. And the balance of the equation, again, like I said, is the architect has a problem. Not so much crowd control, but more so atrophy of the mind. If you're immortal in a program, your big problem is the atrophy of the mind. You need stimulation, right? That's why you have the agents in the story. The agents who are robot-like actually.
So this just switched over to part 2 of this same interview. Like I said, I spliced this together and fixed the audio so it's stereo, so that it can be heard. There's a whole thing with the phones with one speaker and with mono. Sometimes it would like want to listen to the left channel. There's nothing on this original video's left channel. So we're listening to this in a cleaned up version. I cleaned this up to present and review and analyze today. So we're going to keep going here.
Humans, robot-like, not allowed to show feelings or they're terminated. That's why you have the scene where Smith detaches his earpiece and the guy goes, no, 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 at the door. And mine's a lot more severe. You detach, you're terminated from the group, right? Not allowed. You always have to be monitored to show if you're having fear. So the balance of the equation. How do you do it?
Also, the scene that he's talking about in the original Matrix, it's when Smith is torturing Morpheus, and he removes the plug. He asks the guys to leave, and then he removes the plug. Then when the agents come back in, they ask him, what were you doing? Because they were trying to contact him on his earpiece to say that there was an attack happening in the lobby. Not removing the earpiece and the agents see that action and tell him no, no, no. That's what Tom's saying is what happened in that movie. Very wishy-washy.
Survive having agents, stirring up trouble, and that's why Neo and Smith blend. There's a scene where he's got his feet walking up, and the pigeons fly after the Oracle, and he says, like, "We've blended. I'm the rogue now. I feel what you feel. I blended." Well, that's because in the story that's actually copyrighted, the Neo counterpart character actually has to use the Smith memories, download them from Smith, to use the memories to find the dome and the Cortex building.
But that's not what happened. Nowhere in the Matrix franchise does any character remove a chip from the back of the head and upload another person's memories. It doesn't fucking happen in that franchise. Ever. The closest you get to it is Kung Fu. And that's on a disc put into a computer that's connected to the ship that has a plug going into the head. A few extra steps there.
That's why. See? In my script. Yeah, that's why. They took it apart. It didn't make any sense. So what happens is, to balance the equation, you need to deal with free will. Come back as Christ. If you come back as Christ, the architect in mind simulates himself to look like Christ, comes back onto a hill, has the oracle to bring back the pure people of Zion, who are untainted, to come out and see him come back as Christ. And then you get the pure power of worship that will stimulate your mind for all time.
So it's like Christ consciousness,
yes.
A sense of connectedness with all beings.
Well, the fun thing is the architect's actually completing the need. If there's no God, if you don't believe in God, then the architect's completed that need because his need is only to have the stimulation. So he comes back as Christ, he's filling exactly the need of Western Christians.
And if we're all Christ, there's no more war, poor folk.
That's right.
Midwest Mangler says, I mean, can you blame the woman? She obviously had enough of Tom's delusions of grandeur. Yeah, about Becky. Wouldn't she be someone to get on to listen to have a conversation with online here? Get both sides of the story that way, right?
It brings you peace, but he's the anti. So what happens is they don't know what to make of that. In fact, Bonaventura still says, on Wikipedia, look it up, Bonaventura says, I shepherded and discovered the Matrix. He's right.
On Wikipedia, look it up. Does this fucker not... Actually, he does not realize that anybody can edit Wikipedia. Dumb motherfucker.
I pitched it to him. Lenny Coco had me up. Lenny Coco's on tape saying, you were at my house, you were here. You know, my wife remembers you, my granddaughter, my aunt. Yeah, I was there. I pitched it. Long Island, to Bonaventura. And he's the one that still claims he's shepherded and discovered the Matrix story, which is cool. But also what's cool is he says, I'm one of the few in Hollywood that understands this. He's right. He asked all the questions. I explained it. In fact, he wanted Robert De Niro to play the lead.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was chatting me up. So that's it. As a young writer, when someone from Bonaventura who likes to pride in discovering new writers, right?
Yeah.
When they tell you they're making this as revolutionary, we're going to submit it, send it in, you think you're done. That's it. You made it. That's one in a million. You made it. I didn't count on it. But Bonaventura has a penchant for saving the career of failing writers. And the Wachowskis in 1995 said, we failed as writers, we've got to pack our bags and leave. And fans can look up that article.
Well, how about the idea we do the Immortals per your script and idea in a whole new version?
That's what we're going to do. We have to
Just like
copyright.
protests for many movies or Ocean's 11. My dad actually worked in the original
you
Ocean's
just
11.
you just hit my
John
heart.
Craven. Now we make a brand new Matrix.
Can I mention
Immortals.
two heroes? Can I mention two heroes?
Yeah.
He just railroaded all over the
The
host.
idea we do the Immortals per your script and idea in a whole new version.
That's what we're going to do. We have to
Just like
copyright.
protests for many movies or Ocean's 11. My dad actually worked in the original one.
The host is trying to say here that he worked on Ocean's 11, and Tom isn't listening at all.
You just
11.
hit
John
my heart.
Craven. Now we make a brand new Matrix.
Can I mention
Immortals.
two heroes? Can I mention two heroes?
Yeah.
Government's not all bad. Government's not all bad because there's people running the government.
Who the guy,
Some of the
Lawrence
people-
Fishburne?
Yeah, but the people is, there's some heroes, and I want to mention two heroes in our government. The director of the Copyright Office and the specialist of the Copyright Office. Because they found out that that this whole De Laurentiis group and Joel Silver, they copyrighted the title but no body of work. They're like, uh-oh, that's wrong.
No. These two people that gave him his script did not look at the other entries and be like, oh, this is wrong. He's fabricating all of that shit.
How did that happen? How did that slip through? How did somebody copyright a title with no body of work, right? And these are hard copies on shelves that can just be replaced. So we're told they're going to replace them. They step in and give me this and say, this proves it, because the fact that this is the third installment in 1998, this is why I'm holding it up. This is what was on set, because the Matrix was shot in 1999, as we all know, 1999. So look how fast they moved. This came in 1998 when I actually made it in 1993, submitted by Boyd on June 25th, 1993, right to 4000 Warner Brother Lane. But this is
Boyd. Now, you see, he's starting to, like, mix up names here. Boyd. I swear that was his first attorney. Hey, Andreas, good to see you in the chat. Yeah, we're going over a video from 2018. And you can see Tom has his longer hair here. Which, in my opinion, he began growing the hair out after he walked out of his deposition and the court case got thrown. So that's about 4 years of hair growth, I'd say.
This came in 1998 when I actually made it in 1993, submitted by Boyd on June 25th, 1993, right to 4000 Warner Brother Lane. But this is copyright 1998. Why this is my baby is because this is how fast they moved. They get a hold of this from the Copyright Office, and in they go and make it right away on set home. So this is what you look at. Look online at matrixreading.com, and you'll see it predates it, and you'll see that this is my name right on it, on the page.
So did anybody archive Tom's website before it got pulled down? He's claiming all of this was readily available to the public at one point, correct? So where is it?
And there it is, thanks to these heroes from the Copyright Office. And look at the matchups. See if you see the squiddies, Jack's the neck, train station scene. I can even tell you what page to look for.
Midwest Mangler says, if Tom got screwed over by so many creators, why wouldn't he start to document everything he did, including video documentation, after that point in time? It's really tough to say. On one hand, he could have done it and then gave over the only copies to other people that just threw the case. Like, I don't know what to say. But he walked out of his own deposition, so what does that say about him? He had all the matchups. What happened to them? He has this script that's all tabulated, and he got a second copy in like 2023, I think. So, again, yeah, he had it all up on the website. Where is it? Where is it? He had it available to everybody to see all 100-something matchups. 190-something matchups. Where are they? He wants people to look into it. Where's the access?
If you go to... Let's just give him one. I know, page 5, look at the cryogenic containers, and realize they should have hooked up cows if they took it.
Oh, look at page 5. You say, yeah? Page 5. Let's see. He said page 5's available, right? You all heard this. What if I had page 5? Oh. Look at that. That's page 5, right? That's what he said was available to everybody to look at. Let's take a look. Barking dog becomes louder as the two men wade rapidly away from each other toward the opposite shore, still holding their groins, the men on their backs, and kick to proceed through the deeper water. The men turn on their backs and kick to proceed through the deeper water. External rainforest riverbank day, armed guards wearing fatigues, accompanied by fierce-looking dogs. Yeah, where are the dogs in the Matrix? Reach the spot where the monkey was dropped. What monkey? The dogs sniff and snort the ground and then dart off in a frenzy in the direction of the monkey. Were there any scenes with a monkey in the Matrix? Guard number 1 lingers, looking at the opposite shore. Something shines on the water. We see it is a syringe in shallow water near the opposite shore. It had fallen from Mauer's pocket in his hurry to swim away. The guard keeps his eyes on it as he quickly takes off his jacket. External concrete facility. Day is covered with vegetation netting and lies under the high canopy in the rainforest. Where did this ever occur in the Matrix trilogy? Guards dressed in the same fatigues as the pursuers stand on the roof. A few are looking through field glasses. All is quiet except for insect noises. Interior concrete facility overlooking main floor. Day. All is commotion. Scientist sits among many other active lab personnel at panels overlooking an enormous chamber. They speak English. Scientist. Primary sequence. What is this, Star Trek? Main floor. A Jewish man in his mid-30s lies in a open, not an open, in a open cryonic container with an oxygen mask over his face and sensors along his body. Lab technicians start life support systems to activate his heart and lungs. Other attempts to revive bodies are going on simultaneously around the chamber. The man begins to convulse in agony. Blood erupts from his mouth, coating the oxygen mask. Overlooking main floor, a scientist is watching as lab assistant number 1 brings over a handheld computer unit. Yeah, I ain't buying it. How did that match up, Tom? What were you saying? Let's see what he says here again.
See if you see the squiddies, Jack's the neck, train station scene. I can even tell you what page to look for. If you go to... Let's just give them one. I know, page 5, look at the cryogenic containers, I realized they shouldn't have hooked up cows if they took it.
If they were trying to bring people back, why would you use cows? His whole thing, it just makes no fucking sense.
One more thing I want to share.
He told us here in 2018 to go look at his website that had that script page that I just showed. And no fucking compare. Where are the squiddies? Not there. They're in the rainforest. They're looking for a monkey. There's tracking dogs. They're in a fucking rainforest. Where the fuck is this in the Matrix? Let's read the comments here. Midwest Mangler says, Tom went from private interview to interview over the years and never gained anything important to his cause. He just likes to go over the backstory over and over again. And that is true. That is very true. Andreas says, this is nothing like the movies. Again, why try and fight if you're going to lose? What possible reason could drive him to sue the studio? It's another good question. He tried to settle for 30 grand. This guy that's saying that he's worth over $1 billion, what, like 2.1 billion or something? He was willing to settle out of court for $30,000 just so that he could move on with his life. His words. And 8 years after... Well, no. That was 2014. He was saying he wanted to move on. So 12 years later, 2026, he's still doing this bullshit. Going on to podcasts saying this is the best story never heard. Just go look at the script. You'll see all the matchups. We just looked at one page. There's nothing there. They're reviving a Jewish man. Was that ever a thing in the Matrix? Fill me in if I'm wrong. The only thing Jewish about the Matrix is the production of it. You got Joel Silver financing the whole thing. He's Jewish. The story doesn't have anything to do with what Tom just told us to look at for reference.
One more thing for you, Frank. Here's the
I recognize you as a fellow writer.
I love you.
Who's so in love with the book and has read it 100 times and reread it. Well, and it's been a 20-year battle. We're in 2018.
Big hugs. Let me give fans a little tidbit here.
You're passionate.
That's my big...
Jesus Christ. I gotta fucking pause this. The audio is terrible here. There's nothing I could do to clean it up other than give it stereo from the mono that it was originally on. Oh. The production on this is terrible.
That's my baby girl. Look up online, look at this article, look at these articles. See if you find...
Oh. The script is his baby girl, not his actual daughter who refuses to talk to him. He calls his script his baby girl? And he actually has a living daughter that he does not speak to.
Online that the Wachowskis are claiming everybody told us at the set to blow up the Matrix. Now keep that in mind. Put that in. They all said blow up the Matrix. Now first of all, if your script is done, polished, copy, everything like that, why would people be saying to change it? Right? It's ready. You spent millions, you bankrolled millions on it. One of our suits are saying make it. So it must be ready, but it's not. Keep in mind, visual storyboard and my screenplay on this, stay 20 feet away or you're fired. What happens is, they said, blow up the Matrix, blow up the Matrix. They claim everybody said it. It's even a YouTube thing you can access where they're saying it. You see it?
There's a time out again. Hollywood has this stupid formula of property damage, chase, pornography, murder, violence.
Right.
That's their mindset to create more testosterone.
Warning, Frank, to writers. If you're into prostitution as a company, or let's say shady business like, gambling, things like that, racketeering, whatever, what do you make the most money on? It takes a lot of manpower to run those operations, right? But if you've got a script writer who's worth his salt, and his piece is worth billions, as they say, right? They even bragged in court that it's worth $800 million on this one. So if you have that, all you can do is destroy one family, burn them, right? And you don't have to look over your shoulder anymore. And you made billions, right?
Right.
And if they think it is just good business, I was told. If you have to deal with doling out some kind of settlement, let's say you spend 10% of the profits you made. Good business. You just made a fortune off the work anyway and satisfied the person you stole from. What's interesting is I want to complete this, though. The blow up the Matrix idea. Think of that. A whole set saying, blow up the Matrix, blow up the Matrix. And they say this. They talk about this in detail. Instead, they said, no, we're going to keep it the way it is. Now, first of all right, my ending sequence is this, Frank. Identical. The train station scene, little girl where parents are pushing it forward. Look online, guys, matrixredeemed.com. Look at the script. Pushing it forward and say it's 1998, preceding it. They have the identical figures of the crater. The one pushes the other one in. After the palms bleed, in the crater goes. Pulse wave comes out, turning the screen. Little girl renewed to life. Goes back, hugs the main character, points the sun. That's my ending. All right?
Yeah, is it? Is it? Is that true? His last page. Let's see. Let's see what really is going on here. Okay, so we all heard him say that, right? Let's listen to him one more time say that. And I'm going to look at the comments here first. Andreas says, why mention the person is Jewish to begin with? Was he trying to appeal to certain people in the industry? I don't know. I don't know why he made this about like Jews and Hitler. I have no idea why he. And how does this relate to the Wachowskis? And then Midwest Mangler says, hold on. Midwest Mangler says, I challenge anyone to Google Tom Althouse. The first content that pops up is Steve's catalog of interviews with 30 plus hours of content. Yes, that's correct. Zenray says, Tom was claiming that cryogenics is on page 5, something that made in the 1930s. Yeah, they were doing it with Disney, the cryogenic stuff. There's theories out there that Walt Disney was cryogenically frozen. That's like one of the more popular ones. Midwest Mangler says, Steve has hours and hours of interviews with Tom, and we never got close to the end game. Tom was never serious about bringing real, tangible evidence to any of his claims. It was just more stories. Let's hear what Tom has to say here one more time, because I actually have something queued up here.
The identical figures of the crater. The one pushes the other one in. After the palms bleed, in the crater goes. Pulse wave comes out, turning the screen. Little girl renewed to life. Goes back, hugs the main character, points to the sun. That's my ending. All right? So the Wachowskis say we're to keep that ending. Bad move, guys. You should have blown it up. And that's from the author myself, who holds the copyright. There's no copyright on The Matrix, guys.
All right. Page 128. It's like it's written in the corner as page 12, but the one before it is 127. So let's take a look. Jim, fatigued from his wounds, sees the flames approaching. He looks at Julia's picture one last time as the flames rush over him. External, Short Lifers City. Transport terminal wall, red sky. The wall of flames approaches rapidly from the distance. It passes over the trees without harming them. Some people try to run from it. The girl with the doll smiles as the flames pass over her. The flames wash over the gray city, replacing it with renewed nature and trees abounding. Exterior, monument ruins, day. The sky clears. Jim sees his wounds are healed. He hears his name. Julia says, Jim? Jim touches the back of his neck where his enhancer used to be. Brittany says, Daddy! Jim turns and sees Julia and Brittany. They embrace, laughing and crying at the same time. Jim kisses Julia passionately. The wallet picture falls from Jim's hand. Brittany is 6 years old again without scars on her face. She puts her arms around Jim's neck as he picks her up. Brittany touches Jim's face and hair as she speaks. Brittany, we watched you, Daddy. Jim says, you did? Brittany says, I wanted to tell you it's okay. Jim looks at their faces, thrilled with life again, trying to take it in. You did well, Jim, says Julia. Brittany points to Christ. That's the man that carried me out of the fire. The screen goes black. Music Praying for Time by George Michael. Final credits. That's his very last page of his script. So here today, you just saw page 5 and page 128. I'll let you guys fill in the blanks of what that means. But nothing like what he just said here.
They were to keep that ending. Bad move, guys. You should have blown it up. And that's from the author myself, who holds the copyright. There's no copyright on The Matrix, guys. No copyright. Think of that. They copyright Assassins, but not The Matrix. So what you have is my exact ending, where everyone else is saying blow it up, and I'm saying blow it up too. Because you take one paragraph from this, one paragraph, and take it out of order. You know as a writer, if you take one paragraph out, you disjointed the whole wagon train. Nothing's going to hold together. You cannot take images you think are cool, lift them out, shuffle them around, and expect it to hold water. It will not hold together. And their attorneys are saying it's one single piece created in 93. Yeah? Well, Silver and Wachowski's, and look up the 2003 article, they say it was meant to be 3 separate films. Well, you better talk to your attorneys. You're getting it wrong. Now, keep in mind the Wachowskis, for those entries, like high school,
multi-millionaires, they're going to say whatever they can to get out of
they're just not that smart, I'm sorry to say.
But now let's say we really get a balancing act here and the truth comes out completely. Right. Who's anyone going to jail for this thievery?
Well, I'm actually offering them a way out. It's like if they want to talk, we'll talk. You know what I want? I don't even want dollars. I want name credit. I want name credit for my work. Just like they did with Batman. If you watch Batman and Bill, I had paparazzi cue me on that. They said, watch this thing. That's what they did. Same players, Warner Brothers, all those guys, And so if they give me name credit, I'm fine. I just want credit for my work. So I can explain to others what I mean.
Buckwald, who wrote for the Herald Tribune, wrote Coming to America, starring Eddie Murphy, and he got $300 million that he couldn't even somehow, even though he proved up and down. So at the end of the day, what are we going to do?
Well, the thing is, the lady from Gravity contacted me. She's a delightful person. Kill Bill people. A lot of people contact me. They're writers, right? They're Weather Salts, too. And they all basically the idea is, this is the first in film history that we know where they inserted all the biographical information. They stacked it in of the author. My high school, my birthday, my dad's name, my name.
Central High School. Just as generic as any fucking name. Maine High School. I don't know what to say. You know how many West High Schools? East, South, North, Central. Talking about generic names. Thomas Anderson from Central High School. The agent's named Smith. This was all meant to be generic from the Wachowskis' point of view. Did you see the name Smith? Did you see the name Neo, Thomas Anderson, Trinity, Sati? No, it's Brittany. Julia. Jim. Who the fuck are these people?
Yeah, no,
and I would never know that first. Like, freeze frame that. Try to freeze frame that on the first shot, see if you get it. In the Matrix, and that's back when they're doing video. This is digital now, so now we can backtrack, see it. But please frame that first shot, first graphic ever done. Pay attention to the ambience. If you're into studio films or into that kind of studies, notice that there's a difference. You have music playing, backtrack, all that stuff, and suddenly you go silent. Nothing, right? Just as nothing. And the actors don't know what they're doing. It's just like, here comes this screen, this pamphlet strapped down. There's no real audio ambience shot, which you always do. They open it up for a split second. There's all my stuff. Right there. It's all right there. See for yourself. And what's really cool is that's why we can make a difference, right? And what's going to happen is if this word gets around and fans actually get on board and see what's going on here, look at matrixregime.com, look at the script, check the date. This is the specialist and director of the copy office.
He says it. Go look at the website. He has all the evidence up there. He has the script up there. He let this be publicly available to everyone. He wanted people to go search it out. Tell me I'm wrong.
If this isn't true, notice that the Wachowskis said that they didn't want to do interviews after they started doing interviews. You can't start doing interviews in galas and then say, oh, we're shy, we don't want to. Joe Silver's in the article saying the boys are embarrassed to explain what it means. Yeah, because they don't know.
Yeah, if they don't know that.
Or the Wachowskis are just retarded. It has nothing to do with Tom.
I don't know, but if they know, they do know.
They should have blown the Matrix up. Should have done it. But
no,
we make
this blow it up, then there's no sequel.
Well, we make this film. If we make this film, they're going to slap lots of injunctions on us saying it's similar to the Matrix. Well, then, guys, you don't have a copyright on yours. We have a copyright, multiple copyrights on ours. What are you going to do? You can say, it goes back to your first question. The judge said, no, throw it out because there's no similarities. That's what he's saying. It's not worth going into explaining. Well, you should explain. So what it is, we make this. Poor Judge Klausner. We're going to show you 190. People are coming to checklist and see them, Jack.
190 matchups. I never got a list from this motherfucker. I asked. Maybe it's in the thousands of fucking notes that I have. I don't know. It's hard to say. He's saying there's 190 matchups, and we looked at 2 of 128 pages. Where are the matchups? That would mean there'd have to be more, close to 1.5 matchups per page. We looked at 2. You could say the whole like, that last scene requires us to project what we know about Matrix Revolutions onto this, onto his script, and then try to make the connections. That's what he's relying on us to do.
In fact, the Wachowskis, if fans remember, the Wachowskis said, we want to do Jackson in the back of the neck for real. In 1995, they said in an article, we want to do Jackson in the back of the neck for real. Well, if you want to do it, didn't you write it in a screenplay? Didn't you copyright that screenplay? Aren't you the ones that made it? Why do you say you want to do it for real?
For context of that, they all want, like, Ghost in the Machine, or Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell, which was written in the mid-'80s, released in, I believe, 87, was then turned into an anime film, so a motion picture animation film, in the early 90s. And this all happened prior to Tom doing this shit. You see how it doesn't add up? So then when the Wachowskis say they want to do the Jacks in the back of the neck for real, they're referring to Ghost in the Shell being animation, and they want to shoot a Jack in the back of the neck in a live action film. That makes a lot more sense.
And why did you say you wanted to do the science project? Aren't you going to Matrix? Didn't you write it? Why do you want to be given it your own work, right?
Well, why don't we let the Matrix stand as it was and is when the Wachowskis?
I agree.
Just turn the page and maybe Robert De Niro or Jodie Foster or someone will say, let's do the Immortals.
We'll make this one. I agree with you. Let's artists all make our work and stop this suit innovation where they're doing this game of shutting families down.
Yeah.
You know? But as far as my wife, they can have her. I'm looking forward to marry somebody worth their salt. That's what I want to do. Met somebody who actually matches intellect and is a sweet person.
It'd be good to be faithful to script. I've always been attached to my screenplay.
Well, you gotta aim downward, Tom, because you're not as intellectual as you may think. And then you want someone to be nice. Does that mean, like, not speaking harsh truths to you? Is that what you consider nice? You know, he had said when I was standing in his kitchen, I was standing in his kitchen with him, and he looked at me, we're having a little bicker fest. And this is after about a week there, and he's starting to, like, go fucking nuts that I'm there. He says that my words are like daggers to him. Why? Because I'm poking holes in your fucking story, you motherfucker?
The George one never got played because even though I'm an award-winning director in theater and docs and indie film and here and M&N and whatnot, Hollywood, they're very snobby, and you got to be in the club or in DGA or be at the right pool party in Beverly Hills.
Well, there's so much.
Write your film.
Well, when I wrote it, I thought it might. I didn't know if it was going to be made. The production values were off the charts, right? Yeah. And that's really Wachowski's claim to fame. They said we would bring it under budget. That's why the WB suits were like, okay, if you bring it under budget, right? Because there were other people that were going to be claiming this, and they have all their takes on it and all these stuffs on it. But the thing is that if we make that, I want to make it exactly as it is, if possible.
Exactly.
But you're right. But when it was submitted to Bonaventura, when Bonaventura said, I'm going to push this through, and everything like that, I was open to them doing whatever they wanted to it. I realized at the time that when you give a script to the big studios, and I was thrilled to get Warner Brothers to do it at the time, I trusted them. I know they're going to alter things, and that's fine. They buy it, they can alter it.
No, but every star has ideas.
Right, and they should.
What? Did he just say they bought the script, they're allowed to alter it? Let's go back a little bit.
But you're right. But when it was submitted to Bonaventura, when Bonaventura said, I'm going to push this through, and everything like that, I was open to them doing whatever they wanted to it. I realized at the time that when you give a script to the big studios, and I was thrilled to get Warner Brothers to do it at the time, I trusted them. I know they're going to alter things, and that's fine. They buy it, they can alter it.
Not only them, but every star has ideas.
Right, and they should.
Cinematographer wants to bring
let 'em have
the
it.
director has to throw little stuff.
I'm sitting on 12 more scripts better than The Matrix. Handwritten. When Bonventura said, I'm going to push this through, and everything like that, I was open to them doing whatever they wanted to. I realized at the time that when you give a script to the big studios, and I was thrilled to get Warner Brothers to do it at the time, I trusted them, I know they're going to alter things, and that's fine. They buy it, they can alter it.
No.
Did he just admit to them buying his script? And he's just mad they didn't give him money? I don't know what the fuck he's saying here. Like, did he sell his script or not? It's so hard to, like, decipher what he's telling the truth about and what he's fucking lying about. Like, there's truth in everything. I've said this before. There's truth in everything. But... oh my god. Let's carry on.
But every star has ideas. Every cinematographer wants to bring the director has to throw little stuff.
I'm sitting on 12 more scripts better than The Matrix. Handwritten. I've had all these years to do it. And that's what they're pushing for. I have these middle guys that are contacting saying they want these scripts.
If this is a brilliant piece, and it is brilliant, how can you write 12 of it, man?
Because that's a long time after. That's my first one, so the other one's going to be better.
Yeah.
And they're concepts that haven't been done before.
Oh, yeah.
So yes, I can.
I know, yeah.
For me, it's like drinking water.
I wrote a whole play and rhyme this year, and then they said, write a new one. I was thinking,
Right.
no, I can't do it. They said, no, I'm writing a new one.
It just comes, doesn't it?
Yeah, right.
It just comes.
It comes to you.
I've got a play called The Domestics, which is a period piece, right? And it was green-lighted for the Sheen off-Broadway.
Right. You can't stop your hand if you let it go.
If you wish, you're...
The Domestics. So that's another script he has. Where is it? Show it to show what kind of writer you are. Let us see the writing pattern you have, Tom. You can't even do that shit. We're almost done with this. I have a surprise at the end of this video. We got 15 minutes left. I got something else to show after this.
So you're good at it. If you're good at it, then it'll sell. A good script will sell. And it can sell for a lot of money. And so my hope is to educate other writers, and I hope to speak at colleges and things like that later when this gets established, and speak about the pitfalls and the tricks of the lawyers and all that stuff. I sure know the tricks employs, and encourage the people on what you might do to think outside the box to create material that will work.
Well, like that movie Too Big to Fail and other films that sort of poke fun, House of Cards and all the negativity thing, that might be a whole other drama screenplay about the backstabbing thievery of Hollywood and how these guys get on.
I think, Frank, we're going to look at a new era here. I think you're going to see, once this opens up, if we make this, as it's written, and people come with a checklist, love it or hate it, people are going to come out and see it and check it off like, there's the Squiddies, there's that, now I get it, now I understand it.
Yeah.
And people who have seen it have said, if people online and different things have seen it, they said, they left the best parts out.
Right.
The best parts out. The best part, and I would tell fans of The Matrix, is look at the, matrixredeemed.com and go to that script and go to the middle part, I think it's like 55 or something, page 55. But look at the scene they chopped out, which precedes the train station, to make sense of the little girl at the train station. They took the best scene out.
Oh, really? Really? Page 55? I know, Midwest Wrangler. Alright, 1, 2, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You heard him say page 55, right? What is it? This? 55. Brittany, Brittany says, I wanted to tell you so you'd say it's okay now. Jim, it's okay now, honey. It's okay. Brittany touches Jim's face and hair. Brittany, you missed birthdays. A nurse opens the door. Jim to Brittany, you want a birthday party? Brittany smiles and nods. Yes, slowly, as she touches Jim's cheek. Brittany, with you. Nurse, irritated. Excuse me. Jim sees the nurse. No punctuation on that. Jim, nurse, order me a cake. Brittany, vanilla. Jim, to the nurse. A vanilla cake. Brittany, with blue icing flowers. Nurse, I want you to leave this room right now. Page 55. That's what he said, right? What the fuck is this? This is the key to the story that was removed? Don't know what the fuck's going on here. They're in a hospital, obviously. Is that what you said, Tom? Page 55?
The best part's up. The best part, and I would tell fans of the Matrix, is look at the matrixredeemed.com and go to that script and go to the middle part. Go to the middle part. I think it's like 55 or something. Page 55.
Page 55. That's page 55, right? You don't know what can of worms you opened up, Tom Althouse. You have no fucking idea what you unleashed from what you did to me.
But look at the scene they chopped out, which precedes the train station, to make sense of the little girl at the train station. They took the best scene out, where Neo comes back to see his little girl aged, and that's why she dies with burn scars in her face and his arms and everything. Go see that scene, and that lines you up for the awe moment at the end, where if you're worth your salt as a writer, as you know, at the end, audience gets an now I get it moment, right?
Right.
Where everything ties together.
That's beautiful. The whole script tied together.
That's right.
At the end. It makes sense.
You need that scene back in the train station where he loses his daughter. They didn't want the relationship between Neo and the daughter. I call her Brittany, they call her Sati. At the end, to make sense where the audience goes, now I get it. The final line in the piece is, that's the man that pulled me out of the fire. All along, the Neo character thinks that Smith rescued his daughter from the fire burning. And when you see in the regular Matrix, in the Matrix trilogy, you see Neo blindfolded looking for the dome, and he's suffering, and he holds Trinity's hand, he's like, and you're wondering, where is he?
Looking for the dome? The fuck is this guy at? You see, he just takes bits and pieces. He hasn't sat down and watched the Matrix trilogy like I have. Or a lot of other filmmakers and fanatics of this franchise. He watched this shit maybe once or twice, took some notes, don't know if he was on any substances at the time. But you know what? Tom, you did it to yourself here. Because you refuse to talk to me, you try to call me names, you make fun of my appearance. That's all you fucking have, you motherfucker? That's all you have to come back at? When the hard questions are asked, you start making fun of people. That says a lot about you.
You're seeing. In my screenplay, you see what Neo's seeing. They couldn't put it in there because it's the death of his daughter in flames, his death of his wife, from the earlier scene preceding the train station. So that's what he's seeing. He's reliving the memories of Smith, accessing those memories to find the dome.
So in the Matrix Revolutions, Neo, in the real world, gets his eyes burned out by Smith, who's now in a human body. Took over another person's mind. Pretty much killed the motherfucker, and his name's Bane. And he's walking around as Smith. With a knife caught in his arm because he's never experienced pain in the Matrix before. Pulls up his sleeve in Matrix Reloaded. You see all the cut marks on his arm. It's because Smith is experiencing pain for the first time. And he's enjoying it because it's a new sensation. And then he burns out Neo's eyes, and then Neo has this, extra gift of seeing shit without his eyes. And he sees the ghost in the machine with Smith. He sees Smith as Smith in the real world through Bane. Because he's blind and he's seeing everything in the orange light. And instead of Bane in front of him, he's seeing Smith. And there's a cut scene where you see that. Neo's trying to go to the Machine City with Trinity. Trinity dies on that trip. Neo has nothing left to live for except to reset the Matrix, and he walks out of the ship, and he's met by the machine god there that makes his appearance look like a baby. What dome is this motherfucker going to? It's not a dome. It's the Machine City. There's no people there. Why would there need to be a dome? They blacked out the sky. Like, I don't fucking know.
Wow, yeah, that's what makes for a good film. When after you see it, you can go somewhere and discuss it and really feel, oh man,
I love you. That's exactly it. It was written in. We're Chelsea's telling us now. Well, first of all, we say the train.
Hold on. Andreas says, yeah, no, that script is nothing like The Matrix. And Andreas also says, willing to bet he's watching these videos, seeing his world fall apart. Well, you know, he's reaping what he sowed. And Andreas also said, okay, a dome, not the whole freaking world being converted into power station for machines. No. And even with the lore of the Matrix trilogy, it's a machine city. There's not like multiple cities, it's just one. And the fields are also probably in just one location. Like, the amount of power needed to do all of that would be astronomical. Like, one giant facility located outside of the Machine City. That's how it's presented to us in there, right? Notice he never talks about the fact that this takes place in the future. The Matrix. His Immortals, he's going from like the pyramids of Egypt to shit. Like, he's throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks, including World War II propaganda.
Discuss it and really feel, oh man,
I love you. That's exactly it. It was written in. We're Chelsea's telling us now. Well, first of all, we say the train station scene was just a subplot. We'll go through this subplot. It's not a subplot. It's integral to ending the whole thing and making it a satisfying moment for the audience, right? And so what's happening is, you've got this thing where, it's like voted 11th worst sequel of all time. Put it back the way it was, with the scenes they chopped out, and see what happens then, right? But it was written to bring people together. What I did as an author, and I pass this to other writers out there, I'm sharing with you, here's the idea.
Your dream is coming true, Tom. Everyone's being brought together to see what a fraud you are. Your dream has come true. Everyone has come together. And they're all seeing the real you now.
Yeah. You don't need to put the full backstory in. In fact, leave a lot of the backstory out, and then your audience puts their own life experience into the story to fill in the gaps, right? It becomes their story. So the idea was anybody could take their take on it, putting their own self into it, becomes their story. So the Wachowskis took their take, which I don't agree with, but yes, they're right to do their own take on it.
Is that what he meant by telling me before that I am now part of the story? Because of my experiences and my perspective, and going to the premieres of Reloaded and Revolutions, and being on the lastfreecity.net forums, which no longer exist, where we had the threads about the 20-foot rule that now are disappeared. Like, somebody had to have archived this shit. Like, if anybody has the lastfreecity.net archive, please send it my way, because it's gone. It's long gone. I posted on there were probably thousands of threads, if not hundreds. There were at least hundreds of threads on there, theorizing about the concepts of the movie. But you know who wasn't on that forum? This motherfucker, because he was more concerned about going after Warner Brothers for Demolition Man and not The Matrix. And he didn't figure all of this out until around 2009, right? 6 years after Revolutions came out.
On it, so is anybody else on the planet. Put yourself into it. That's why I think a lot of people are attached to it still after 20 years and so, saying, I love that piece, but I don't understand it. It's meant for you to fill in the gaps. Read it. Take it, read it, see what it was really written as, and see what happens.
I'll take you up on that, Tom. Did you really just say that?
20 years and so, saying I love that piece but I don't understand it. It's meant for you to fill in the gaps.
Okay, it's meant for us to fill in the gaps. Okay, so like, it's not on the page, but you want us to just fill in the gaps with our own experiences. Like, oh yeah, this must be related to the Matrix, right? But listen to what he says next here.
Read it.
Read it! He's telling everybody to read his script. But who has access to it?
Take it, read it, see what it was really written as.
Take it, read it, see what it was really written as. That's what the fuck he said. I'll do it one more time for those in the back.
20 years and so, saying I love that piece but I don't understand it. It's meant for you to fill in the gaps.
Listen close.
Read it. Take it, read it, see what it was really written as.
Challenge accepted, motherfucker.
And see what happens. And see if it's not meant to bring people
Oh, we're gonna see what happens. It's gonna bring people together, Tom, but not the way that you imagined it.
together.
Right.
Yeah. So we discuss it and see what it means.
Oh, that'd be terrific.
That was my plan.
Well, that's what we need. Let's come together and organize the fact that
That's what we need. We need to come together. Episode 20, perhaps? I'll take up that challenge, Tom. You're telling everybody to read a script that they don't have access to, right? They had access on your old website. Who saved it from there? Anybody? I'm sure a few people have. People have tried to blackmail me saying they have the script. Threatened to take me to fucking court over my own videos. My interviews that I let this guy freely speak on. It's funny.
hey, we live in Maya illusion, as the Hindus say, or the Pachamama Alliance. Change the dream, awaken the dreamer, change the dream. The jungle people in Ecuador think we live in a dream culture.
Right.
And many people are waking up to their enlightenment that this is if you, like for me, I feel that we're in eternity, right? The Holy Spirit's eternal and divine. So what are we doing? We twiddle our thumbs this way, we twiddle our thumbs that way. So we jump into life, we create a drama, and it's like, oh my God, it's scary, but it's like going to Disneyland.
Right.
You know, in life, yeah, blood and scary, but our Holy Spirit is divine, and this body is just a provisional vehicle of our eternal spirit, and we're safe. The universe is safe and beautiful, works in divine order, but on planet Earth, we're always subject to change and evolution and challenge and scary stuff that we take for real, but it's in reality not real.
You're a beautiful soul. I'll tell you that. You're a beautiful soul. I love what's coming off of you. It's great.
Well, I'm explaining this philosophical question that we all have deep in our hearts. What am I doing here? Why do I exist?
Well,
what the hell is going on?
Another thing in the Matrix. If you're talking about codes in the Matrix, the code really was to bring people together of faith and different walks and different expertise.
His script is not titled The Matrix. He never says The Matrix in the fucking script. Hey, Lerny, I see you in the chat. Good to have you here. Good to be here, too. Andreas says, so no real or stable timeline of events, just random points. Got it even more messed up. Logic. A good amount of people want a timeline in movies if they get more than one movie. And Lerny says this guy sounds drunk. Yeah, I mean, it's the effect of... It's basically like, don't do drugs, kids. Like, your mind is gonna end up like this guy. But at least this guy... This is the host of this video. He was trying to get Tom to speak the truth, to get to the bottom of all this, and Tom just wouldn't do it. He just kept giving the runaround. But Tom continually says in this interview, go look at the script. It's all in there. It's all in... I want you to read the script. Look at it. Tell me what you find. He's said that several times in this interview for people to go read his script. But that website that he sent everyone to in this interview from 8 years ago no longer exists. Andreas says, read it, gotcha. But of course, you only show it on interviews. You don't show any of the pages during any of the interviews you have done, faker. Yeah, Andreas is talking to Tom directly here in that comment. Yeah, the only times that we're able to get a glimpse of it is here on this or on his website that's no longer up. Lerny says, don't do drugs, kids. You may end up talking to Tom Althouse. I could say here, I don't believe my pathway to interviewing Tom Althouse involved drugs, especially not the type of drugs that this guy's taking here. I mean, you got to think of it. This host probably did a lot of smoking cannabis and taking hits of acid. That's the only, and then plus drinking. Like, that's the only way, like, your speech pattern would get to that point. But, yeah, Tom thought this was a good idea. This is it. It's a precipice. 2018. Again, 8 years ago. He was telling everybody to read it. Read the script. Read the script. Read the script. Read the script. I'll take you up on that challenge now, Tom. I'll read the whole motherfucking thing.
The compassion, right? Bring them together and we'll solve problems. That's the code of the Matrix, is to be a beacon. That work that you'll see online in Matrix Dean, the way it's like, thanks to the specialists and directors of the Copyright Office who are heroes who step in and make sure that was not switched out and given to me now. They beat them to the punch, the suits from Warner Bros. And so what happens is, in that piece, the idea was this: I celebrate your faith, not your religion. So it actually celebrates. That's why Barbara Walters in the interview with the, which obviously didn't show up for it, but Barbara Walters with the A-list guys, like Fishburne, those guys, and Keanu Reeves, she's saying, the reason I love this piece is because it celebrates all faiths, and all these ethnic groups and faiths get along fine together in Zion. Yeah, that's what it's written to be, right?
Well, is in the script.
But I don't think Zion is even mentioned in the Immortals. See, this is, like, he's betting on us remembering what the Wachowskis did so that he could latch on to that and say, no, this is what my script was supposed to be. That's what this guy's doing.
It's in there.
Do we have a bunch of these?
It's in there. It's in there. It's in there. And where? In the script? Let's see the whole script, Tom.
People are zoned out and just wired to imagination.
You got the jacks, the back and neck in there. You got everything. In fact, you actually have the first mention in 1993 in there.
No Matrix, no Zion, no Neo, no Trinity, no Smith, no Cypher, no Niobe, no Sati, no Nebuchadnezzar, no Logos. Give me a fucking break.
The iPad.
An iPad.
Yeah, page 6. Go to page 6.
Before it was even invented.
I'll tease you. Go to page 6. See it. See it all written out. Put it like a metal clipboard, computer. Yeah. But
oh, you'll tease me, huh? I'm tired of being teased. I want to see this.
in fact, you actually have the first mention in 1993 in there of the iPad.
An iPad.
Yeah, page 6. Go to page 6.
Go to page 6, huh? Go to page 6. Making me do all the work here. Go to page 6, he says. Alright, you asshole. Oh my god. It's all over the place. There. Alright. You asked for it, Tom. Page 6. Resembling a metal clipboard. Lab assistant number 2 is smoking nearby. Scientist. Who was the subject? Lab assistant number 1 patters buttons on his handheld unit. Is that it? He's saying a metal clipboard is a handheld unit. Lab assistant 1 reading. Kaufman, Harold, Jew, 35 years old, smoker. Lab assistant number 2, watching horrified, looks at his cigarette and puts it out. Cheers go up from another part of the lab. Lab assistant 1, looking towards cheers. Another successful regeneration. We see technicians congratulating each other around a dazed man who is being transferred from a container to a stretcher on wheels. Lab assistant number 1. We had an 80% success rate for that phase. Scientist busying himself. Recompute data, the last 2 phases. Let's make this round 100%. Exterior, rainforest, day. Again, when the fuck did the Matrix have a rainforest in it? Never. The lab monkey is still damp with urine. As he races along the ground, barking. The barking is intense. The dogs are closing. I see the chat rolling. I'll get to it in a second here. The barking dogs are wide-eyed as they race towards us. Guards follow in the distance. The monkey looks back in the direction of the barking and then easily scampers up a large tree. A piece of the cloth is tied to his collar and tears off on a low vine. The monkey jumps to a second tree, heading high into the canopy. Rainforest, riverbank, guard number 1 is in boxer shorts wading into the water. He jolts forward, then regains his footing. What the fuck does this have to do with the Matrix? What was that you said, Tom? What was that? Let's hear it one more time.
In fact, you actually have the first mention in 1993 in there of the iPad.
You're fucking telling me lab assistant number 1 patters buttons on his handheld unit? You're telling me that's his fucking idea of a fucking iPad that has no buttons? What the fuck, man? Holy shit. Buttons on a handheld unit. That's the first instance of an iPad. No, it's not. The first iPad had 1 button, and it was at the bottom.
People are zoned out and just wired to imagination.
You got the jacks to the back of the neck in there. You got everything. In fact, you actually have the first mention in 1993 in there of the iPad.
This is what we're fucking dealing with here. Patters buttons on his handheld unit, resembling a metal clipboard. You know how fucking big that is? Hold on. This is how big this thing is. Not even the first iPad was this big. Or maybe it was. But there's no fucking buttons on it. Give me a fucking break. Patter's buttons on his handheld unit. And what does Tom say here? This is the first mention of the iPad from 93. Really?
Uh-huh.
In fact, you actually have the first mention in 1993 in there of the iPad.
Total bullshit.
An iPad.
Yeah, page 6. Go to page
Before
6.
it was even invented.
I'll tease you. Go to page 6. See it. See it all written out. Put it like a metal clipboard computer. Yeah. But what's really cool is like this. If you celebrate someone's faith, but not the religion, that means I'll be with you forever. I'll stand by you forever. You could be Hindu, Buddhist, Western Christian,
Atheist.
Here's more of his bullshit. We got about 9 minutes left of this interview here. Actually made really good time. Let's read the chat here. Lerny says, quote, buttons on a handheld unit. That can't be anything other than an iPad. Sarcasm. Yeah. Lerny says, not even remotely. Yep.
What do you want? I'll be there because I celebrate the spark of faith in you, not your religion.
Right.
And therefore, I'm always going to celebrate you. I celebrate faith.
I'm always gonna celebrate. Imagine this fucker yelling at you about your faith. I don't care what faith do. As long as you have faith in God, I don't care. I will support you. Get the fuck out of here.
In people.
No, but we want to celebrate the goodness in people. Not if he's a backstabbing thief, a rapist, a murderer. These people are mercenaries with no morality.
You know why the architect's in there? You know what?
The
The reason the architect's in there the way he is because, I mean, a lot of film students and writers that are students of, script writing, one of the best things you can do is get people to have empathy for your villains, right? Like Shakespeare did with...
Oh, so Tom, the villain, tried to get all our empathy by him going on these shows, trying to claim material and property that's not his, using reference points from material and property that's not his, and saying that it is his originally. No Neo, no Trinity, no Morpheus, no Smith, no Matrix, no Nebuchadnezzar, no Sati. You got all these different character names. They don't fucking match up. Those are the first few things that you look at to see if shit matches up, not just the kinds of characters that are in there. What a stretch.
Richard III and things like that.
Right.
And so that's why the architect, if you look at the original screenplay here, as it is preceding Matrix, right? Preceding Matrix, which doesn't have a copyright, you'll see that you'll start to have empathy apparently for the architect, hopefully, right? And also something really cool that Netflix and all these studios are now caught on to. In '93, what we came up with was this. I took a real risk because I didn't do the intros in the beginning. You're supposed, everybody always did the intros in the beginning. Look at anything pre-1993, you have the intros running in the very beginning, right? Not me. My intros come near
Page 12.
way into the film. Way into the film.
That's good.
On page 12.
How'd I get that right? How'd I get that right? Oh, because I remembered that page 12 of The Matrix had Trinity in the phone booth trying to leave the Matrix after running on all the buildings away from the agents. But you go to page 12 here. As well, charge admission and take a circus along. You go out there now, you'll stand out. Schneider holds up the mirror from Mauer. Schneider. Besides, I saw another Satutu in you. What the fuck is that? Mauer's point of view mirror reflects another cyst below his eye. The cyst is twitching slightly. Mauer puts the gun down and lays back down. That's already terrible writing! Damn it! He's not a screenwriter. Schneider looks into the mirror. Schneider, given the circumstances, you look better than I do. Mauer. They've done it, Gerhardt. They've really done it. Give me a moment here. I zoomed out accidentally. Oh, alright. I can see that. I've got to get to Helena before they do. Opening credits, music. In the Lap of the Gods by Alan Parsons, Arista Records. Montage. Here's what I don't fucking get. So this is his opening credits. 12 pages in. A sunrise in the desert. A temple in the desert at a medium distance. Already he's trying to give screen direction. A jackal in the foreground watching a man in white at the temple doors. A jackal runs off. Go to black on slamming sound. The Immortals in large, shiny metallic letters in a field of flames on organ blast. Title fades into distance as drumming begins. Nazi stormtroopers charging over a hill. Hitler and Göring in an open staff car saluting a crowd. A Nazi rally with thousands of Nazi soldiers saluting in unison. Hitler dancing a jig at the fall of France. Hands and faces peering from barbed wire on boxcars. Jewish citizens being shoved into line by Nazis using gun butts. Starving Holocaust survivors lined up along barbed wire. How the fuck is this the train station scene? And how the fuck does this constitute as being ripped off? How? Tom Althouse bet for nobody to actually read his script. Because the moment they do, even one page, it all falls apart.
There's only latecomers.
Well, now look at Walking Dead. Look at Tudors. Look at anything on Netflix. You get your intro later, just like mine, right? But that was a brand new thing. It was risky, but Bonaventura loved it. In fact, he's on. Like I said, look up Wikipedia with Bonaventura. He says he pushed it for 4 years. He claims he shepherded and discovered it, pushed it for 4 years, and he's one of the only few that understands it. And he is absolutely right. But Mr. Bonaventura, you did my family a great disservice, and I hope it catches up.
Mm-hmm. Well, good luck with it.
I think Bonaventura's dead now. I'm not too sure on that, but that's what I'm under the impression of now.
Tom, and thank you for sharing these insights. Is there a website to get in touch with you?
Majorsredeem.com. If anybody wants to join me on Facebook, I still have some spaces left. Tom Althouse on Facebook. You can see my lovely son on my back, riding piggyback and smiling on the beautiful sunset beaches of Maui. You can just request, I'll accept you.
Majorsredeem.com.
Majorsredeem.com.
You can just request, I'll accept you. He just opens the floodgates. Nobody vetted for. He's just like, come on all in, and everybody fucks up his work. Why does that happen? Unless he's fucking it up for himself. That's actually what's going on.
And you can read the script.
The script's posted right there. Plus, we have side-by-side matches.
You see that? He just said it. The script was publicly available for a period of time. Anybody could have grabbed their own copies. That's what he's saying, right?
Join me on Facebook. I still have some spaces left. Tom Althouse on Facebook. You can see my lovely son on my back, riding piggyback and smiling on the beautiful sunset beaches of Maui. You can just request, I'll accept you.
Majorsredeem.com.
Majorsredeem.com.
And you can read the script.
The script's posted right there. Plus, we have side-by-side matchups. There's 190.
The script is posted there. You can see side-by-side matchups.
Matchups are all there. Just go to the down the rabbit hole. Take it out. Look at it.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, that's right.
He says to go down the rabbit hole and take it out. 1 minute. I'm back from the rabbit hole. And I have the scripts. Look at that.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Hey, well, I appreciate you sharing your story.
Pleasure.
And let's hopefully tune in and catch up. So now it's up to one of you millionaire or multi-billionaires to fund Mr. Tom Althouse and Mr. Craven with our award-winning script.
That's right. Join hands on that one. Now, that's right. Read it first. See if it doesn't hold water. See if it doesn't make sense. Everybody that approached me would say,
it doesn't hold water. It doesn't make sense. He just said, everyone go read that script, right? He just said for everybody to go read his script. Straight up. Let's hear that one more time.
And Mr. Tom Althouse and Mr. Craven with our award-winning.
You know, I don't like making fun of people, but like, Tom's a caricature. A caricature.
So now it's up to one of you millionaire or multi-billionaires to fund Mr. Tom Althouse and Mr. Craven.
Oh! Hiya! Hiya! Guy's a fucking clown, man.
With our award-winning script.
That's right. Join hands on that one. Now, that's right. Read it first. See if it doesn't hold water.
Award-winning script, right?
See if it doesn't make sense. Everybody that approached me would say, oh my God, it's great what you wrote. I loved it, but I didn't really understand it. Of course you didn't. It was chopped. But now you can understand it.
Oh, now we can?
The copyrighted one. Yeah. Well, I appreciate this, guys.
Well, God bless you. No problem. Hopefully we're going to...
I appreciate this, guys. Everyone, go read my script. Go read my script. I'm Tom Althouse. Go read my script. That's what he's saying here, right? That's what he's saying in this video. He's instructing everybody watching, all 400 of them over the past 8 years, because that's how many fucking people actually watched this. I'm not making this shit up. That's not the one. That's not the one. Come on, what the fuck? 400 views for this. It's just like, come on, man. I don't fucking know where I had it. I had it here at the beginning of the stream. The view count of this shit. There. 412 views. 10 likes. I'll get that many likes within the week on just this video alone. Because that's what you guys want to see.
I believe another good 10, 20, 30 years.
Well,
I've been doing what's selling Hill and Reddick almost 20 years, like you've been trying to fight the good fight and feel that you will come to a new day. Now, what do we have? We have all these pedophiles busted in Hollywood. We have even in Washington, D.C., and Congress and Senate and the Boys Town and the...
Tom doesn't want to touch any of the pedo stuff. He doesn't want to touch any of it. Just a note to take here.
The whores and the God knows what, and the immorality and the insatiability of these multi-millionaire, billionaire.
Look how fake he is, man. Look at what he just did. He like awkwardly put his arm on this dude.
And the whores and the God knows what, and the immorality.
Watch Tom here.
And the insatiability of these...
Thinking about... He had to really think about touching this dude's shoulder.
Millionaire, billionaire.
Maybe this works for like women, because I'm sure he loves talking to like a crowd of women that'll just suck this up just from the empathy perspective. And like, it's nothing against women, but he's a predator for this type of shit where he goes and he tries to lure people in. And part of that is starting to give physical touch in the shoulder. I agree with you. But he had to like think about it, like, is this appropriate? I'm just gonna do it. Okay, now my hand's there. What do I do now?
Immorality and the insatiability of these multi-millionaire, billionaire, billionaire.
Complete from Hollywood.
The action that he took with his body and his body language is completely separate from what he's thinking about or conscious about. Like, he's doing something completely different with his body from what's actually occurring in the conversation.
There's about to be there's going to be regime change. The word from Hollywood, what I was told was, Tom, just stay alive. It's being done for you.
Right.
And if this gets made, the other 12 can be made. So that's a bonus for whoever funds
Well,
it.
you want to focus on one project.
We'll do the first one, but that helps for the investors. It's like 12 other ones are waiting.
You hear what he said? He told this host, you're the first one. How many other hosts has he told that to? How many other hosts?
Oh man, your own production company.
Well,
Every film company like.
And that's another valid point from this host. Why doesn't Tom open his own production company? Why doesn't he make all the other scripts that he claims that he has? It's because he doesn't have them. Or they're just absolute shit and they'll never see the light of day because it'll expose the quality of a screenwriter he actually is, which is very low.
It's just spaghetti, got to crank out a film after film.
well, what I want to see is it'll be a golden age. I see a golden age for Hollywood where actually you're going to see all these different writers like Avatar, Gravity, Kill Bill, all these ripped off writers. You'll see the real work.
Wonderful.
How about that?
Yeah, it's time for a renaissance. We're tired of the bad, sad news. Let's have some good news.
Well, the writers that are handed the work, like the Wachowskis, they don't have a passion for it. I was told by the guy that contacted me, they hate you, they hate the work.
No.
That's why you're talking, yeah, they didn't like
How
it.
can you hate the work? They like their children.
They didn't think that
Oh,
it was
I love my
That's
scripts.
right, it's like Solomon's
They're
baby.
Bibles.
So therefore, the scripts that'll be made from the people that are ripped off, like this one, we hold the copyright, for goodness sake.
Right.
You'll see the passion put back in the work.
Well, good.
Wachowskis don't want to talk about it? I'll talk about it. And my son said it too, just turned 12. He said, put the Wachowskis.
Tom doesn't want to read the script for everybody? I'll read the script for everybody. What do you guys say? Let me know.
Dad with you on the program with the Wachowskis, and let's share. Let's have fans see who's talking about the work. See what the fans think.
Yeah, a real writer knows it.
Let's read through the script and see what the fans think. How about that?
His work.
That's right, that's how
He
they
knows it very well.
Part of the
He
family.
reads it and then really loves it and fine tunes it and plays it and holds it under his arm
That's
like a Bible.
I challenge the
That's
Wachowskis to
a
meet with me sometime in public. Meet with me in a TV station, and let's talk about what the work means.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, this is a fun thought.
yeah, well, these people.
They'll never give you the light of day, Tom. Because they know what you are. You're a fraud.
Obviously, they are what they are, and they just sort of shrug their shoulders over the whole thing, and it's old news, and that.
No, that's right. They don't say,
Why waste your time?
they won't do that. They say, you
Let's
lost.
go with our
Yeah.
passion and work with what we want, not what we don't want.
Right.
You know.
Well, that's why Sense8 came out after they threw the case in 2014, April 2014. In April 2014, right when they threw the case, they had my scripts and notes and everything given to them for discovery, right? So all these notes and scripts went in for discovery.
So that date, I believe, is correct. April 2014 is when the case ended. So just prior to April 2014 is when he did that second deposition that he recorded the audio at that he wasn't supposed to, that he gave me that audio to put in his documentary that he wanted me to make. It's all there.
So they had access. So what they do when the case is thrown by Klausner, Judge Klausner, in 2014 April, they announced that week that they're doing Sense8. So they each announced their take. Warner Brothers announced Elysium, Brothers announced Sense8, and Joe Silver announced Oblivion. In Sense8, the main character's name is Marx, that represents Larry Ronnie Wachowski, and that's my brother's name.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're going to have to wrap it up. It's a 58-minute show. And summation, I guess I just want to close by saying I'm FrankCraven.com with Tom Althouse. You watch What's Ailing Here in America. A question we have a right and duty to ask and answer. It's up to us to create the difference. And as Gandhi said, be the change in the world that you want to see happen. Make it happen. Whereas when Moses said to God, what's up? God said, I am that. I am. You know, you are what you believe you want to be. So let's go forward, make the...
Except Tom is never going to be the writer of The Matrix, no matter how hard he believes it to be so.
Immortals is a great film that everyone's going to love watching and understand instead of coming out and saying, well, I'm not sure I got it. Or, yeah, that was really cool, especially at the end when I, you know, really, we're on board a whole new paradigm of consciousness.
Artists are being allowed to present their work now. It's happening. There's a whole avalanche happening. The House of Cards is falling.
Well, who's funding it?
It's just happening.
Oh,
It's coming down. So
we got like 90 seconds left.
who's going to be left? The artists that were burned.
Right.
And
Well,
they
all
put
right.
passion back in work.
Oh, fabulous. Tom, thank you.
Pleasure.
That's it. Yeah, I guess so. Wow. What a trip back in time today, right? See, with video, we can time travel. We went back to 2018 when this video was recorded. Lerny says that interviewer has smoked away most of his brain cells. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And Lerny also says, quote, "You're the first one I told about," end quote. It's just a way to make them feel special. Again, you're right, Lerny. Tom butters people up to make them feel special and continue the grift for him. Yeah, this is the end of the video. It's just froze for the last 30 seconds here, so I'm just gonna cut it. But that's it. And we heard what we needed to hear today. Tom wants us to read the script. He wants everybody to go out and read it for themselves. I say, not next episode, but episode 20. We'll read this motherfucker. Okay? Does that sound good with all of you? So we'll do a review and critique of stuff that was already made public to the internet on his personal website, but we have it in high def without all of his crazy chicken scratch markups on shit. Does that sound good to all of you? And Tom, if you're watching, please keep in mind that I waited 16 months to think about doing all this. But you know, we got your permission, so we're gonna do it. You told everybody for years on end to go read the script. Read the script. See for yourself. We're gonna see for ourselves right here. The #1 channel for Tom Althouse videos. And I didn't make it that way. It just happened. So, that's that. I do have a few other interviews I want to dissect before we go page by page like I'd like to here. Like, I'll search his name right now on YouTube. Again, look at this. First result is this channel. Third result is the channel. Second is Roseanne. 86,000 views from a year ago. And my first interview has 7.7 thousand. So there's that. But like, I don't even think he did like an interview in the past 2-3 weeks. Like, let's say this past year. No. Even when you change the search results to like this year, look at that. It was the last show that I just did. That's not looking good. So he also dropped from 86,000 views on the first interview of Roseanne to 32,000 views on the second. So there was a lot of people that checked out from after the first one. Eight months, 3 weeks with the Barbarian Empire. That's the one we. Or no. That's a different one. Oh no, that's the one we looked at, was Barbarian. And then there's the Nephilim Death Squad one, but that's from 3 months ago. There, look at these assheads. Like, where's Michael Jaco Yako Wacko Yakko at? Where is this guy? Did all that kind of just fall apart? Like, let's take a quick look at Veronica's page here. What is she up? Like, I'm not even fucking subscribed, see? I said, fuck this shit. 3 months ago, she's posting all... she's trying to get into tarot. Okay. That was 6 months ago. What did she do here? 4 days ago? Anything look like Tom is here? No. Who's this one in the yellow, though? It kind of looks like, No, that can't be. No, it's not. Who's that? Who's this? Who's that? Sue McClure. These people's names are wild. No Tom in the past month, though, huh? What happened? 1 month ago. This is the show that Tom went on to go make fun of me. So, you know, she just has, she barely made it over the 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm looking for Althouse. Let's search that. Did she title any of it as Althouse? 7 months ago? Whoa. Crazy. And you see, Tom went on this channel to make fun of me, to punch down or some shit, being like, "Oh, that guy, that anonymous with no, dude, I'm the top search result for this motherfucker, and he's trying to write me off like I'm a nobody here. Like, this is not good for him. For him to continue to ignore me and then go on these shows and make fun of me." Like, you know what Trump says, hit back 10 times harder. Got all these spooks here, look at this. Spooky videos. Oh, 3 months ago with Tom. There he is. Neuralink and digital ID. What is next in your world? We might have watched this. Ugh. Can't stand looking at her. I mean, just looking at these stills, do you trust this guy? Because I don't. I don't trust that bitch either. I don't know who the fuck that is. Randomly, let's just hear what the fuck he's saying.
People in the CIA, different things like that, are wanting to get on board. People are people. So even though they're in these agencies, there's a number of them, like Michael Jaco said, that are waiting for the right guy to take the lead or right girl to take the lead. Well, if I was tapped to do that story, I did that story, and I survived. Now I'm going to start turning it around. So if I was groomed to be a leader in the cabal, I can be a leader with a free-for-all. And off at times to have natural interactions and sessions with loved ones and things like that.
People, you know, talking and exchanging ideas and sharing emotions and world peace with dignitaries. And yeah, this fucker just talks in soliloquies, doesn't he?
Where everyone turns off their mind, Congress people, senators, things like that. So that allows me to finish my job as others finish their job, and we'll all come together at the end of this.
And the message was about
everything they threw. That makes you look quite powerful in their world and with their perceptions that they have, because they can't, like they said, they can't feel compassion. They don't understand humility, but they understand power. That's the only thing they understand. Even the Disney attorney had told me that's
from
all they
October
understand
8th.
is power. So from that lens and
oh, look at this. Check this out. 91 views. I'm only bringing this up because Tom tried to say that I'm a nothing channel. I'm the top search result for this fucker anytime someone goes to search for him. I do the Bermuda Triangle series. I do the Coral Castle series. I do shorts on all three of these different shows I do on a weekly basis. And Tom's material is the stuff that gets watched the most. Not because people believe him. They're watching the Tom Althouse is a liar, Tom Althouse is a fraud shorts now. Like, one of them's about to hit 1,000 views, and that was put up not even a week ago. So, again, Tom is just continually digging himself into a hole. He's not going to stop. That's the main thing. He's going to keep going with this. What am I to say? He told me I was going to direct the Immortals. That's what he told me. I flew to his house. I went to go work on that documentary. I brought all my film equipment with me on a plane. I had to check in extra luggage. And then he has a fucking meltdown. Like, fuck, I don't know. Missing Time says, I think that was Soma Ara. She's a channeler. Soma Ara. Well, I don't think we've watched that one yet. Maybe that's what we can do for next week, because it is pretty recent. And I don't remember watching this. So we can cover that next week. And then episode 20, because this is episode 18. Episode 20, from the start of the live stream of Let's Talk About It to the end, we will go through page by page of the Immortals. And we'll settle this once and for all, so that Tom can move on with his life. All right? I'm going to end it here. But I think you guys all know the game plan. And hey, Tom, like, you want to talk more shit to me in Messenger? Go ahead. Like, I don't fucking care. I don't respond to him. He tried to, like, pretty much straight up tried to bully me. And name call me and shit. Talk about, like, my living situation. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, his mom bought his house. He's 66 years old, and his mom bought him his house in Texas. That was located like 3 miles from the condo / apartment, whatever the fuck he was living in prior to that, in Texas. So his mom probably bought that too for him. Like I said, he was celebrating that he got government benefits while I was there in 2024. The guy that says the government and the feds are after him is celebrating that he's getting money from the taxpayers via the government. Go figure that shit out. And he had a GoFundMe up at some point. It was $3,750 a month he was asking for. For what? I don't know. No representation. Just give him the fucking money, right? Thankfully, he didn't even get $200 from the first month, and it's now since been shut down. So again, Tom Althouse is a liar. Tom Althouse is a grifter. And tell me I'm wrong. Show me where I'm wrong. He says he has all the receipts. He tells everybody to go read the script. Well, it's going to happen here, motherfucker. It's just going to be a matter of time. And maybe I'll make that title distinct. I've been thinking about it. Episode 20 of Let's Talk About It. That's where all of that will take place. So next episode, which might be next Sunday, we'll watch this Veronica video. And then after that, for episode 20, we'll check out Tom's script. Because he wanted everybody to read it, right? This whole episode, we heard him say several times in that interview, go read the script. Go read the script. See for yourself. Well, challenge accepted. So, that'll do it for today. Thank you all for being here. Please like and sub. If you are already subbed, that bell icon next to the subscription thing, you need to make sure that you hit the drop down menu on the bell and hit all. That way you'll get whenever I'm going live. It's the only way. Otherwise, it's just going to continue on like this. But YouTube's favoring the Althouse videos, so we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep putting the truth out there. The goal from this was to expose the truth. And we see that something's being hidden here with Tom Althouse, isn't it? There's some secrecy going on with everything he's doing. He's telling you to go to the copyright office to get a copy of The Immortals, yet you need permission from him in writing, given to the copyright office just so they can give you a copy. But he had it all available online. He told everybody to go read that script. But now, no one can find it, right? Who has it that's going through it page by page? No one. But I accept your challenge, Tom. We'll see how few matchups there actually are. When he talks about lifting material, he said that the iPad is at his thing. It's a... metal clipboard, so a little thicker than this, probably like this thick, with buttons. And he said that was the first iPod. Yeah, okay. Let me put my thinking cap on. Yeah, it's all bullshit, isn't it? Alright. So thank you everybody for being here. Tuesday, I will be live next for Coral Castle. And then Thursday, I'll be live for Bermuda Triangle. Next Sunday, we'll do another Let's Talk, which will lead in to the show after that, where we will read the Immortal script and get to the bottom of this shit. I'm tired of Tom stringing along person after person, wasting everybody's fucking time. and it all ends here. This is the last stop. You must exit the train. Until the next one. Class dismissed.